And welcome to the Postmodern Art Podcast, the podcast dedicated to giving artists who are wowing the world over the platform they deserve. I am your host, Nathan Ragland, and if you're watching this the day that it releases, happy Indie Animation Day once again! It is that fantastic time of the year to where we celebrate some of the best and brightest creative minds pushing out some of the coolest concepts that you need to love and support today. And for today's episode, if I may, allow me to present a pair of guests as part of a incredible indie animation studio putting their hearts into something titanic and out of this world that you need to show that love and support for today. Today's guests are Zomibom and Maudolith, two of the co-founders of Kappapon Studios, an indie animation studio started by four best friends working hard on the upcoming fantastical action comedy Hearts of Titan. Hearts of Titan has been one of those indie animation projects that anytime I hear the word indie animation, their stuff is constantly one of the things seen, and for good reason as well. If you have not seen anything about Hearts of Titans beforehand, I encourage you, before you continue with this episode, go check out their stuff. Go to the links in the description below and just go ahead and check it out, because it looks absolutely amazing. And that's why I'm so excited to get two of the people working on it here today. And trust me, judging by the length of the conversation already, you know we had a fun chat talking about this and then some. If you enjoy our guests, please make sure you support them with the links down in the description below. If you enjoy the podcast, make sure you like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. Leave 5 stars wherever you can. You know I see that stuff. You know it genuinely warms my heart. If you want to go a little further with that support, may I recommend you check out the merch shop at fourthwall.com. We have some incredible streetwear as designed by some outstanding artists, and I think you would look fantastic in it today. I mean, if you love the logo alone, we have that on a shirt for you. Just saying. And look, if all you want is a nice, cool, casual place where you can meet some of the other guests of the podcast or some other incredible people in this community that want to see it grow, share their art, and just have a fun time, may I recommend you check out our Discord server, the Artist Sanctuary. We have already developed an incredible group of people that I just love interacting with anytime I get, and I think you would be a fun addition to that group today. But now, without further ado, please enjoy the Postmodern Art Podcast.
Do we have to do like a mic check or anything like that, like for levels?
I mean, technically right now would be the mic check, so I'll tell you what real quickly. Maud, you go first. Just talk for a quick second.
Hi, everybody. My name's Maud. I'm so excited to be here. Yay!
Okay, I think I got your levels where I need to be. And then, how do you want me to address you? Zomi, Bomb? How do you want me to...
Zomi.
Zomi? All right, well, next...
Zomi, yeah.
Zomi, can you speak for a quick second?
Yeah, hi, how you... Oh, that wasn't English, I apologize.
I was like, I need to turn you up just a little bit more. All right, speak one more time.
Yeah, I'm a little quiet because of the fact that it's currently 3 a.m. for me.
Yeah, I figured that whenever I saw, like, when I was doing my research for you guys, look up on the website and see that you were based out of South Korea, I'm like, oh my god, I appreciate you, but goddamn.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Oh yeah, like I'm U.S. based, Zomi is South Korea, Tilly Sweden, and then Rennie's Australia. So it can get kind of hectic.
I imagine trying to plan anything at a convenient time for everyone is gotta be one of the more like challenges with your guys' studios.
Oh yeah, we make it work, but like it's insane. Like just like we all happen to be on a different continent. Like, what are the odds?
Right? Like, don't get me wrong, I've obviously always had to deal with international, like, time zones in one form or fashion when it comes to this podcast, like, dealing with people from different parts of the world. But I imagine for you guys, especially keeping up consistent work, having to adjust to 4 different time zones is a fun little challenge more than anything else.
Absolutely. It is. We've been going strong since 2019, 2020, so we've made it work. But like, yeah, doing stuff like this can sometimes be like finicky. So that's why like only 2 of us can be here. But I'm glad that that's okay with you.
No, that's perfectly fine with me. As long as there are people there strongly representing your guys' studio, as well as the incredible animated series Hearts of Titan. That's what I was excited about. So
yes, okay. Yeah, Zomi is like our visual lead feed. So like the two of us, we can very much answer questions and talk about Kappapon Hearts of Titan.
Oh no, absolutely. Thank you both for taking the time to be here in the first place to do this. I know, Maud, whenever I figured out that you were one of the people in charge of Hearts of Titan, you kind of heard how excited I was.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But to get a chance to actually talk to you guys, because I've seen your guys' stuff for years when it comes to Hearts of Titan. It's been one of those, like, anytime indie animation is like mentioned, your guys' stuff is always one of the visuals or one of the things that I see out there. So like getting the chat talk with you guys is actually really exciting. I cannot wait.
No, thank you. I really appreciate that. It's surprising because like we have known a lot of mutuals, but never actually connected until like recently.
Right?
So that's so funny to me.
To be fair, I probably needed to be a little bit better about reaching out to y'all, like past just like, oh yeah, but like, it's a combination of like, I'm already like doing what I can to get with so many other people and like talk to so many others that it gets lost in the shuffle sometimes. But we're making this happen. We're making this work. That's all that matters.
We did it after years in the making. We're here.
Yeah,
we are here.
We are here. All right, Zombie and Maud. Before we really do get going, I must ask the icebreaker question of the podcast, if I may. Let's say you both get to go to your own desert islands on your own accords. It is just you, alone with your thoughts. Y'all get to kick back, relax, breathe. You truly enjoy yourself for a little bit. With accommodations. I shouldn't say desert island, more like a personal B&B paradise away from society for a little bit. To make sure you both don't go further insane on this island, you can bring one piece of media or one piece of art with you to help with whatever kind of headspace you want on this island. If given this opportunity, what will that one piece be?
Zombie, you go ahead. I think you'll have
one
a better
piece.
One piece. And you're not just saying that because I mentioned with one piece of media or one piece of art. That's legitimately your answer.
Nah, man, I've been a One Piece fan since I was like, 10 years old or something. Okay. It's one of those medias that I would absolutely just watch over and over, and I just not get sick of it.
I mean, especially with the wide variety of either manga or either manga or the actual cartoon animation itself. Because there's like over 1,000 animated episodes. Correct me if I'm wrong when it comes to that.
It's almost getting to the 2000s at this point.
Oh my god, really? I thought they just celebrated like their 1,000. Good lord.
No, there's like a 1,800 or something. I don't remember.
Either way, yeah, no, you would definitely have plenty of time with that, and a good way to keep your mind off of everything else that may or may not be going on in the world.
You got enrichment in your enclosure, like you're fully stimulated.
There you go. And Maud, how about yourself? What is that one piece for you?
Mine is really niche and obscure. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I would probably bring a fanime from 2010 on YouTube called My Jungle Book Your Year.
Yes!
It is my favorite piece of media ever created of all time. It is so niche and nobody knows about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
so
you're gonna need to describe this a little bit because I've never even heard about it, but I have so many questions that I want to ask about it.
No, absolutely. If you ever get this creator on the podcast, please tell me. I just want to like say that I was a little kid when this first came out, so I was there on ground zero. There was a community in the early 2000s or 2010s called Fanime, and it's fan anime.
Right.
And it was basically just a bunch of like artists, mostly young artists, who would get together on Tumblr and on YouTube and just make their own fan animes.
Okay.
And it could be like anything from like a parody, because like everyone knows Nine Yucca Sugar Girls, like that's the most popular one. But it would go beyond satirical. It would get people would take this so seriously. And that was like very authentic and fun about it. And My Jungle Book Your Year was my favorite out of all the fanimes people would make. And like, it's usually like either animated on like an art program, like not even for animation. Like Paint Tool Sci was the most popular one at the time, as well as like MS Paint, like stuff like that. And so it was really cute and really, really fun. And My Jungle Book Your Year was one of like the ones that were kind of like animated in MS Paint as like a joke. But what gripped me is like it kind of lulls you in this false sense of security that it's a parody, like it's a fan anime parody that's like supposed to be poking fun at like anime tropes. Halfway through, it gets so serious with the plot that you get extreme whiplash. Like, it's so good. I will die on this hill that fanime is ahead of its time and such a masterpiece like of work. I love My Jungle Book You're Here, so I will gladly bring that to an island. Fufu Furry Furry Poopy San is my favorite character. I kin Demonica Bishi, and I think that her quest to save Vanilla Caramel from the high school vending machines was the coolest plot of all time. I don't want to go into spoilers. You should check it out.
I love cones.
Cones is so good.
Okay, first off, believe it or not, that's not the first time at least cones have been brought up on this podcast. Not that cones, but just cones in general have been brought up on this podcast. For a second. But I was going to at least make the joke that from the way you're describing it, it sounds like the Adventure Time or the regular show of its time. Something that started off completely silly and ridiculous, but then all of a sudden it got really serious like halfway through. And you're like, oh wait, what? There's actually like story? There's story? There's like threads?
Like, there was a plot this entire time, and they were like foreshadowing it this whole time since the beginning. Like, it fell into place. I remember, so I have forced every single friend of mine to sit down and like watch it like start to end.
Okay.
And I have a tradition where if I'm at a convention, whoever's in my convention group, you are going to be seated in the hotel room watching My Jungle Book Your Year. And I remember showing my brother this, and it was like his first ever convention. We were at Holiday Mat Surrey in Florida, and we are sat down in this hotel room, and I've already seen it like 25 times. So I'm like, I'm going to bed. It's 3 a.m. I'm sleeping. Have fun. And then I wake up like an hour or so later, and they're glued. Like they're leaning on the bed, like hands folded over their lap, like leaning towards the screen, watching in shock and awe. Like, I woke up because they started screaming because of like how like they were so gripped by the story. Because at first it's like, oh haha, like funny anime parody, like silly goofy, it's animated in MS Paint, this looks terrible and like bad on purpose, it's ridiculous. And then they get to like episode like 8 or something, and they're like, what? Like, Fufu Furry Poopy San did what? Like, it's so stupid. I love this series, and it's such a good time.
Well, let me know if you hit up MomoCon next year, because I will be more than happy to indulge in that tradition.
Yes.
But regardless, One Piece and My Jungle Book Yuri? Is that how it is or what?
My Jungle Book Your Year.
My Jungle Book Your Year. Those are your answers. You both are locking it in.
Locking in, yep. Absolutely.
Then if that's the case, especially after hearing all of that, I cannot think of a better way to start the Postmodern Art Podcast. Welcome, everyone. I am your host, Nathan Ragland. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. You look fantastic in the merch we have at the merch shop, fourthwall.com. Link to that is in the description below. And follow us on Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, and most social media platforms at Postmod Art Pod for future updates and guest announcements, including today's guests. They are two of the co-founders of Kappapon Studios, an indie animation studio started by 4 best friends working hard on the upcoming fantastical action comedy Hearts of Titan. Welcome to the podcast, lead storyboard artist Zomibom, and writer and creator Maudolith.
Yeah. Hi, every pony. How's it going?
Hi.
How are you both doing today?
Doing pretty good. It's a very chill Sunday. I've been just like, bouncing between work because like even though it's a weekend, I still like being productive. But no, it's been pretty good. Just very busy at the moment. Trying to do backer kit reward fulfillment. Trying to balance between animation production and a comic. Ooh. So it's been very interesting. But yeah, that's how I'm doing. But Zombie, my awesome, cool best friend, how has your day been?
I love waking up at 1 a.m.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about this a little bit more in the context of the podcast itself. But Zombie, for context, where are you right now?
I'm currently stationed at South Korea.
Yeah.
It's very early in the morning right now.
Yeah, and me and Maud are currently in locked in America in one form or fashion. So yeah, I could see why you had to wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning to do this. So thank you once again for taking the time to actually do this more than anything else.
Any time at all.
I'll say, well, both of you, sincerely, thank you for taking the time to do this. Like I kind of hinted at in the intro, if I leave it in or whatnot. Seeing Hearts of Titans is always one of those shows that anytime anyone mentions indie animation, your guys' stuff is in the like in the conversation, just just based on like the amazing visuals and the incredible concept that you guys have built up. And it's one of those, I think at this point it is one of the most like anticipated indie animation projects out there. So I felt like it was fitting on this indie animation day that we bring you guys on to talk about this incredible concept, this incredible idea, what you guys are so excited to showcase out there to the world. But before we talk about that, I want to go back just a little bit and learn more or less the origin story of Maud and Zombie real quickly. What got you both interested in art and animation and stuff in the first place?
That's a good question. I have to think. So is this more of like when I was a child, when I was like 9 years old and I'm my pencil? Or is this more so like I want to take animation seriously as like a career?
Well, the first one first, and then we'll do the serious career one afterwards.
Okay. In that case, I'll think. Zombie, do you know? Because I'm still trying to figure it out.
This sounds cheesy as hell, but my first interaction with art was actually when I was still in diapers because of the
Oh,
fact that the most poignant thing that my mom had told me when I was a little toddler was she immediately realized I wasn't messing around
okay.
when I would watch cartoons. I had laid out multiple sheets of paper in front of me, and every time a character would appear that I've never seen before, I would draw them on a single piece of paper as much as I can. And then when the show was over, all the paper would be filled in with different characters, completely like just full references of them. And then from
Okay.
then on, I would just use those drawings as references for future fan art I just made of those characters. And my mom was like, "That is not normal behavior of of a toddler. I'm gonna invest in this."
I will say that is kind of like really cool to think about that like you had that much of a love that you see a character that just looks cool and you're like, write that down.
I need to do it.
Do you remember some of the early characters or whatnot that you remember just like drawing figures of, or like some of the first cartoons that made you like want to draw them in the first place?
I was obsessed with Cartoon Network, even though I
Okay.
wasn't allowed to watch it as a kid. Um, my mom saw a single episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog and said, "No, thank you."
Okay, you know what? Of all the things that she had to see a single episode of, I can understand why
Yeah,
watching Courage would make her be like, "Yep, no, we're shutting this down right now."
absolutely. And then just the most hilarious thing in the world is the fact that she was like, since my kid can't watch this and they're not interested in any other cartoon program, I guess I'll just let them watch anime. That should be fine.
That should, yeah, no, what's wrong with anime? It's not like they don't have their own grotesque and violent, interesting visuals on their own. That's perfectly fine.
Absolutely. That's how I started finding some very interesting things, like really horrifying art, and I just kind of sat there like, that's pretty cool. I kind of want to draw that. And then I got in trouble all the time.
I love that duality. On one hand, your mom's like, I need to invest in this because I see there's something creative. On the other hand, why are you drawing this? This is not the thing you need to draw.
Absolutely. And at some point, she just kind of gave up. She was just like, all right, whatever, I guess.
That is both wholesome and hilarious more than anything else. And Maud, what about you? What was that like first little taste of art and animation that got you interested in it in the first place?
Yeah, absolutely. Can't fully remember like my getting first into art. I do remember taking private art classes because my parents were like, "Oh my gosh, like it seems like our daughter has a hobby. Like let's encourage this." So when
Okay.
since elementary school, I was really invested. But animation, I remember my first encounter trying to animate, and it was after seeing a commercial on PBS Kids, and they're like, "We're doing an art contest, like or
Ooh.
animation contest, like submit like your animations here, and like you could get your animations featured on PBS Kids." And I got so excited, and I started like trying to research like how can I animate, like how does that work, and like I realized that like you have to draw on paper and like redraw the characters over and over and over again. I was trying
Hmm.
to come up with a story and everything. And my mom finds out and she's like, Maddie, that's not gonna work. Animation's a lot of work and like it takes a lot of time to do it. And I was like, oh, I guess you're right. And then I dropped it for quite a bit.
Oh
And
wow.
then I hit like I believed her. I was like, well, like it makes sense. Like she showed me like behind the scenes of like Disney and stuff like that and like showed me
Okay.
like how professionals do it. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, this is like a professional thing that like people will do for like movies and stuff like that. But I don't really know how to do any of that, so I'm not gonna like participate." And I just remember that was like where interest in animation had first like peaked. And
Okay.
then I got an art tablet when I was in middle school, and I finally got to draw digitally. And then that's where I got into YouTube animations, and I discovered,
Ah.
yeah. Um, I remember exactly which YouTuber got me into animation, and it was a creator by the name of Splash Kitty Artist,
Interesting.
who made really cute animations of her blue cat character, and I was like really enamored with like her animations and like her memes and like the humor of it all. And then I remember watching a video of her showing how she does it,
Hmm.
and like she was using Toon Boom, and I'm like, wait. I can do this? Like if I get this program, I can also like make animations like her. And so then I proceeded to beg my family for like a year for Toon Boom. And they're like, Maddie, if you do this, you're gonna drop it. Like you're gonna lose interest, you're gonna burn yourself out. Like this is not like something that you're gonna like stick with. And then finally they caved and then
There you
got me
go.
Toon Boom. I think it was like the kid version of Toon Boom called Toon Boom Star. I do not
Uh,
think that's still a thing anymore. And um I bought it and here we are today. I've
here,
never stopped.
here we are today.
Never.
Well, I guess that kind of leads into more or less the next question that I had for both of y'all. Was finally getting Toon Boom Star? Was that more or less the moment it went from just like something that you love and admire to a passion and truly wanting to make it your career?
Um kind of, but I think there was something else that really solidified it, but I will bounce it back to Zombie and if you want to answer that first.
Um, I guess like my entire like life, I have never put my pen down, and I think the
Okay.
moment when I think the moment that really clicked in my brain instead of being like, oh, I'll just do this too. I want to make this my career was when I watched uh Steven Universe. And
Ah, there you go.
I think I kind of watched it and I thought to myself, wow, this feels really familiar to me. Not in a way that's like, wow, this is like my story, but it's more so like I want to make something like this and I want to know how it works. So I kept watching videos on behind the scenes stuff, and I instead of seeing what I thought was going to be just corporate like office work, I saw these people collaborating with each other and like making stories by putting post-it notes on the wall and like going insane and talking about stories together. And I was like, I really want that. I really want that in my life where I can meet people in my life who sit down together and talk about ideas and kind of sit in my chair all day and then make drawings come to life, because if it wasn't for the animators, art just kind of doesn't really exist on screen.
Right.
And I think it's like that one scene from Ratatouille where Anton Ego eats the ratatouille and then it's like just a flashback of his childhood, and I had that moment because I remembered little kid me writing down notes of future stories that they want to write, and I said, "Hey, this is for you, Kid Zombie. I'll make this real for you."
Oh, that is. Are we just gonna have you be like the most wholesome guest I have on this podcast, like so far? Because like that is genuinely like heartwarming. Like once again, it's not the first time that like a thing like Steven Universe is brought on the podcast, because especially like with a lot of today's animators, like they are so inspired by that show, especially whenever it like came out at the time. It was basically revolutionary for a lot of people. Like they're kind of awakening
Hmm.
in one form or fashion. But to see it more or less like show how that like community of animation is actually a thing, and to
Hmm.
recall back to like your kid self being like, I got you."
Yep, yep, yep.
So sweet. Goodness. But Maud, how about yourself? When did it go from that kind of again love and appreciation for animation to that like next step of like really making it your career?
Absolutely. So, it was definitely a cultivated thing. Like my love for this grew as I got older, but I think a lot of it was built on the fact of like where my brain was growing up on the internet and like the
Mm-hmm.
communities that I was a part of. And so, of course, when I was much younger, I had the big dreams of like I'm gonna go to this art school and then I'm gonna like get my portfolio and like do all these classes and then I'm going to graduate and then I'm gonna go to work at all these studios and
Right.
like I'm gonna make a show and pitch it to networks. And I had like the traditional route already formed in my brain at a young age. However, as I matured and like became an adult, it kind of like geared more into indie. And this was way back before indie was ever much of a scene at all. But I
Right.
think it's because where I was growing up with like fan made animes, all the dozens if not hundreds of like warrior cat inspired animated series on YouTube or like the
Mm-hmm.
ones with wolves in them. I still remember watching like so many like YouTube created, online created, like small artists, like small groups of people making animated series on YouTube. And there's so many that like I just adored. And I even like, oh my gosh, I'm remembering them now. And like one of my favorite like pieces of media as a kid was watching this one animated series called Fairy Foxes. And it has
Okay.
like maybe like I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes at this point. But like that was what taught me, oh my gosh, you can just make a show. Like you can just
Right.
make a series and like make cartoons and tell a story online through art animation. You don't have to go through the traditional route of like trying to get picked up by a studio. And like sure, this looks more like a hobbyist made it. Like this definitely looks like not like a full studio had animated this project or anything. This looks like it's made by one person, and like
Mm-hmm.
you can tell that like there's a lot of love put into it. But that was my background and my history with animation is like doing it by yourself or with a small team of people. Like my Jungle Book Year, bring that back, was made just by a group of friends.
Right.
Like it was made by like a girl I actually don't know made by one person and like their whole friend group who also voice acted the characters and like would draw occasionally and like it was half animated in, like MS Paint and like Flash and like Blender. I don't even know what 3D programs they'd use at a certain point, but it was just done for fun. And so I became an adult and I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. Like I do want to try and pursue getting breaking to the industry. However, I want to be true to myself, and this is how I want to tell my story if I got to choose to do so. And so that's what led me into researching and figuring out like what is the best options if I really wanted to take making an animated series seriously.
Right.
And there was like a lot of like good and bad that happened in my life when I was much younger, and I had to be kind of serious about like finances. It's like I can't afford art school.
Right.
I can't actually get into the college that I would want to, so I have to kind of break into the industry and do things my own way. And that's how I like really started gearing up for like kind of just doing it myself. And so I developed like a 4 to 5 year plan at the age of 19 where I'm like at the time that I would have graduated at college, I want to be financially stable, working in animation. I want to have a full-time gig. I want to have my indie series, whatever, already established. I want to do this, this, and this, and this. And throws a peace sign up. That's exactly what happened
There
four
you
years later.
go.
So I was really hard on this like that pipeline, like that goals that I set myself up, like that 4 or 5 year plan. Um, so like that's where my headspace was developing like why I decided this was going to be my dream. Like I this is the route that I want to take. I could yammer on about all of the logistics and like the nuances of it, but I think the pivotal moment was like more of a serious, less wholesome answer was me being like, oh, I can't really go to college for this, so how
Right.
else am I supposed to approach this?
I mean,
But yeah,
I could certainly tell, especially up to this point, because like, especially given what you talked about with like the early like love for animation stuff, people constantly telling you, oh, you can't do it like this, oh, you can't do it like that, or hey, it's really hard, it's almost gonna be impossible, like this, that. You are a very determined person, from what I'm hearing, more than anything else. Like, if you truly set your mind on something in one form or fashion, you're gonna figure out one way or another how you're gonna get there at some point. Like, you want Toon Boom, you'll
thank
figure.
you.
Yeah, it's like you want Toon Boom, bam, I'm gonna get Toon Boom at some
Mhm.
point. You want to be in this field, boom, you found a way to be in the field. You want to set up your set up a studio and get like your indie animation idea out there, boom, you got it set up, and now you're currently getting it like out there and letting people more or less know about this kind of stuff. And we will definitely talk about what you guys have been able to produce together at certain points. But I also would be remiss in like not saying that like you guys definitely took yourself seriously and definitely got your foot out there,
Hmm.
really getting some really incredible opportunities. I mean, I wrote down a list of several things that you guys have been able and involved with, whether it's separately, like either
Yeah.
individually or together. I mean, just off the bat, you guys have worked on the likes of Monkey Wrench, The Legend of PP, Spindle Horse Tunes, and I know, Maud, for you in particular, you've worked on Port by the Sea, Masters of the Universe, Skull Island, Castlevania, Lackadaisy, Catching Up. Like, that alone, if that does not tell you how determined you both are when it came to this, how seriously y'all took this, I don't know what is. Like, it's gotta be incredible to think, like, the incredible opportunities you guys have been able to get both either together or for
Yeah.
yourselves.
Yeah, if
Mhm.
you really want, like I could go into like what that was like, but I think that also ties into a different question that you had, which was like the origins. So I don't want to like railroad them.
I
So
mean, look, if it leads to that path, I don't have to ask that question. That's so we could if it. Wow, words come back to me or whatnot. I had it and then I lost it. No, if you want to go ahead and answer it while also talking about how Kappapon Bay came to be, go off, Queen. Like say it. Get it out of your system.
yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Lee.
Zombie, our origin story is so interesting. Are you ready for the us going down memory lane?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll try and set the scene.
Okay.
So, this was way before I met Zombie, Tilly, and Rennie. So, for context, for anyone who's not aware of what Kapapon is, it started as a group of friends. It
Right.
was four people. It was not officially a studio. Now it's a registered one. So, but originally it was just me and three other people that just really wanted to just make animations together. Not even that seriously. We just wanted to collaborate.
Right.
But that's what we were. But now we're an official studio, with trademarks, copyright, like
LLCs, all the nine
the
yards.
business stuff. Yeah, we got an attorney. Like we
Oh hell
have
yeah.
like our like contractors and everything. So like we have now pivoted into taking Capapon as like a real studio. But regardless, back in the day when it was like maybe around like 2020, 2019, even as like the earliest.
Mm-hmm.
This is when indie was like really small. Like this is like when not a lot of projects really out there yet. I remember maybe around that time was like um Lackadaisy, Salem, if you remember what Salem is, Wild Card,
Yep.
stuff like that. And I was like trying to figure out like what is my plan? How do I break into working in animation, working in indie? And I remember getting onboarded onto this indie project. It's no longer a thing, but
Yep.
this is how I first got my toes into working in an indie production. I was maybe about like 19 at that point,
Oh wow.
and that's how I got involved with Zombie. And so like I was the reason why Zombie got onboarded. Is like I was in charge of like recruit and onboarding of this production, and so
Okay.
Mhm.
um, I recruited Zombie, and I all I saw was like their work on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, I think this person's probably good enough. Like, what? I'm like a teenager. Like, I'm like, I probably know how to recruit. So I reached out on Twitter and got them on board as an animator. And then Zombie's like, I know a guy. Like, I know a few people that could also help with
I,
this.
I was like, I
Um,
gotta ask real quickly, Zombie, how surreal must have it been to be recruited for this project? Just asking out of curiosity, because it must have been wild to know that, like, here you are, all you had presenting was, like, your work on Twitter, and yet here you are being, part of this project now.
Like at first I thought it was gonna be one of those like scams, but then like I looked into it and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bite. I'm gonna try it out. And then
Well,
well
That's a that's that,
but
that
you
that's a,
know.
that's another story for another podcast. Okay.
absolutely.
But sorry, I just had to ask, like, for Zombie's reaction more than anything else. But back to what you were saying or whatnot. Zombie got on board, and then they were like, "I know a guy."
I know a guy.
Yep.
It's like we're now collecting people, and so Zombie introduces us to Tilly, who goes by Maromaniac online, and Rennie Roomba, and so they all got onboarded, and I remember Tilly's not here, but like it's a very funny detail. So she got onboarded because she's like, yeah, I'm a background artist. I can do backgrounds, and they gave her a test, and she did a good job. But like after we became friends after this production, she's like, Maddie, I gotta tell you something. I did not know how to draw backgrounds, or I was not a background artist when I was recruited for this. Like, I lied, and I'm like, yes!
Hey, you know what? Fake it till you make it, right?
Exactly. So we all got to know each other through this one production, and we learned what it was like to collaborate on a team.
Okay.
So even though that like this was like kind of like um a shoestring type of ordeal where we're kind of like learning the do's and don'ts, we at least got to learn how collaborating in animation works.
Right.
Because if I recall correctly, I don't think at that point any of us had that kind of background or experience yet, and this was our first time being introduced to it.
Mm-hmm.
And regardless of all the events that occurred and transpired, we learned that the four of us work really good together.
There
And
you go.
so after this had ended, the four of us stuck around and we got to become really good friends. And then we're like, you know what? We should start a group. Like,
Mhm.
oh, what's that one joke that people make where it's like, say that again. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, the four of us make a really good teams. Do we? I
Well,
think I
Tilly
think
now.
we should team up sometime. It's like, oh, we're assembling like the Avengers.
There you go.
Say that again. Like it was stupid.
The Kappapon Vengers.
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. We learned that this between the four of us, we just happened to fall into roles where we're like that complement each other really, really well, and
Mm-hmm.
also somehow accumulate the rough entire pipeline of production. So, Zombie's really good at storyboarding,
Okay.
concept art, design, animation, and a lot of pre-prod, as well as Tilly, who has been our main background artist, viz dev. Um, Pre-prod as well as like been leaning more into animation these days.
Mm-hmm.
So she helped us predominantly with the background department and like previs like color scripting and stuff like that. And then Rennie is really good at like cleanup animation, revision work, kind of like the back end like organization and administration type of role. And I'm really good at compositing, post production, as well as business and management. So like I fall into like once again the kind of directorial. I also onboard and recruit people as well as handle contracts, and a lot of the social media. So I kind of fell into like the business and marketing side of this as well as post production, but I really still enjoy rough animation and cleanup. I know how to do both, but comp just happened to be what I really enjoy. So,
Right.
but the four of us combined, like we're like, oh my gosh, we make up the whole pipeline. So
Mhm.
By
we
our powers
decided to
combined.
Absolutely.
exactly. And so I remember like the four of us took this casually, where it's like, yeah, we'll probably just like make some fun animations with the like each other. And none of us worked in the industry yet. Like none of us like took on any like freelance gigs in animation. I think maybe like once or twice, but it was very
Okay.
small. And then I remember like I look back at my big like smorgasbord of like corks and strings like all tied together on like my conspiracy board of like how to break into the industry. And one of the things was like I wanted to find client work for potentially for the four of us because I
Right.
want to keep working with them. And I was I got onto a music video and then proceeded to get commissioned for a just like a one person animated music video. And I'm like, hey, like I know a guy. And so I proceeded to drag the three of them onto this commission, and that's how we made the music video Endless on Oreo's channel,
Right.
which was our first real like Kappapon collaborated job.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about Oreo because I see that you guys, as you said, that was the first one. You've had the chance to work with Oreo on several other ones past that. How did the opportunity for you guys to even work with them in the first place like came to be? Was it you finding the opportunity, like trying to find client work?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I was initially brought onto her Clover album series, and
Okay.
then Amori came out, and we bonded over Amori, and she told me like, "Oh, I'm gonna be making an Amori music video. Do you want to work on it?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." So that's how we built up a reputation and like good rapport with our first real client.
Right.
And then we did a good job, and like she liked our work, so she kept on bringing us back for client work, and that's how we got involved in Nerdcore. So we did other commissions for other content creators as well. I had directed and Kappapon worked on CG5's music video Forget. We also worked on a couple of like things here and there for CG5 if I recall. And then we kind of like did our own separate things with different nerdcore YouTubers. I think Zombie did stuff for like Lalia. I'm blanking on it, whoever else, because a lot of us, I'm not gonna lie, we kind of got our foot in the door through YouTube
Yeah.
commissions, and so between the four of us, we all started branching off into different YouTube jobs, and that's kind of how we built up our own personal portfolios on top of Kappapon's.
Right.
So we were doing music videos as a team. However, we all kind of like were doing our own thing. Like, if I remember correctly, I have done some animations for like Scott the Wise. Oh my gosh. It's gone. It's gone from my brain. I will get back to what I've worked on. But I think I remember Scott the Wise. I remember Sea Dog. I remember I think I did something for like Cypher Den and a few other like storytime YouTubers, but it's been years. I know I can remember my friends a lot more clearly, I will not lie. But Zombie, if you want to answer that question, like go ahead.
Not gonna
Of like
lie,
what you've
I'm
worked
also
on.
completely blanking as well.
It's okay. You've
There's
worked
just
on
so much that we've worked on, and
you've done like storytime stuff like Brody Animates and
right, yeah.
And
it's
Hamimations,
Tilly's the
right?
one that's Tilly. Tilly worked on
Oh, there you
Hamimations.
go.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But like a lot of us branched off into storytime, as well as like other music videos and like YouTube work, and that's how we got to like our foot in the door with like building up our own separate portfolios. And then at one so here was my like huge like scheme. So
Oh.
I was like I've been scheming. So
Devilish.
that's
How
kind of
devilishly
my
of you.
I know, literally. I have been scheming since the beginnings of Kappapon, where I'm like, we have to build our own like portfolio as a studio, but also as individuals, so we can build up a good reputation, and people will be able to see that we are competent artists who are capable of making a fully animated series one day. So we wanted to build up like a archive, a backlog of work, so
Right.
that once we want to start and pivot into original projects, people could see our work and be like, oh, they've worked on so and so, like they have done all this other things. Therefore, we are a lot more trustworthy of like producing a fully completed animated project.
See, I was gonna say you say that that's scheming, but I feel like that's just how animation should work, or at
It
least
should. It really should.
like correct me if I'm wrong, but like building up your repertoire and working on projects to prove that hey, you actually have experience and stuff should lead you to eventually getting opportunities to work on more stuff, whether it be your own or other people's stuff. Call me crazy, but that just seems logical, you know?
It's more of like okay. It's more of the sales pitch of like once we have a crowdfund online and posted, we want to make sure that potential backers could look at Kappapon and be like, I don't know who these people are, and I want to potentially maybe support their project. So let me
Right.
look into this. And then they'll see like, oh, they have worked on da da da, or like they have they can see completed work. They have actually finished and produced completed final products of stuff. So I'm like, okay, that makes me feel a lot more comforted and like secure in giving these people money or supporting their studio. So that's why I did not want to do anything in terms of original work until we had a backlog of other media that we have made or other productions that we've been on and stuff like that. So like before Kappapon or Hearts of Titan was even a thing, we all worked on for several different studios, several different shows and films and projects
Yep.
because we want to make sure that people like can see our work and be like, oh yeah, like these are competent artists that I can trust them with my $5.
Yep.
Like, so we want to make sure that people know that like we're taking this super seriously and that we have put a lot of time and money and resource and efforts into it because I cannot express how much money out of my personal pocket has been put into starting the studio because I also
Yeah.
worked for years saving up to fund this business so that we can get off the ground.
I can only imagine, as someone that also like invests a lot of money in their own basically passion project when it comes to this podcast. I cannot
Yes.
tell you the thousands of dollars I have potentially spent just paying for thumbnails only to get like 50 to 100 views on a video. Sorry, that sounds so sad, but I understand where you're coming from. Like when it comes to like especially this creative field, like there is so much trust that can be conveyed. Like you were talking about with the backer kit, like you want people to look at your stuff and then basically give them a reason to donate the $5 or $10 or however much they want to donate,
Yeah.
like with legit reasons. Because I'm sure you can attest this with me. There are so many Kickstarters. There are so many Indiegogos. There are so many indie animation projects. That's like, it's a really good idea. It's nothing, like, it's super creative. It'd be cool to see this off the ground. But it's like someone that came up with this, like, randomly, and they only have, like, a few, like, roughly drawn images, and they have no idea, like, how the industry works or, like, any idea what comes to the pipeline. And they just ask for a random number, and then they get it. And then, like, months later, it's like, oh, I needed more. Or, oh, I have no idea what I'm doing. Not saying that people can't learn from that situation, but it'd be a lot it'd be a lot easier for you to convince someone if you can look at their back catalog and be like, oh, okay, they've worked on like stuff. For example, like I had mentioned, they worked on like Monkey Wrench, or they've worked on The Legend of Pee-Pee, or they worked on Castlevania Nocturne, or they've worked on Skull Island and such.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea how strongly I feel about this topic.
I have a rough idea because I'm sure I've been in a call or two and heard you talking about this kind of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I feel like if I ramble about like um what makes a indie production or studio ethical and fair, like I have very strong opinions about uh, the industry, the animation industry, as well as like indie animation, because I've worked in it since I was like 19, and
Right.
I've seen the scene grow for over the years, and I have like seen the best and the worst of indie, and I have a lot of like experience for what the do's and don'ts are. So I often have very critical um, feedback and insight on indie productions just because like I've seen it. Like I've seen
Yeah.
how poorly certain things can go because there is no regulation in indie because in the industry you do have that security net. And so like it's very much like the wild west for animation right now.
That
Um,
I was gonna say
but
indie.
yeah.
I would say indie animation is like podcasting. The good news is anyone can do it. The bad news is anyone can do it.
Yeah, exactly. So I have very strong opinions about like how to treat workers fairly, how to
Right.
correctly pay and respect your artist, and treating people with like with treating people well in a healthy, stable work environment. And you would be surprised by how a lot of people do not know how to do that, and so that's why I can be pretty vocal about it.
Right.
But the thing is, like, I always welcome people to come and talk to me, and I'm usually like very, very like receptive and kind about it because at the end of the day, this is somebody's passion project. This is like a labor of love, and
Absolutely.
likely has a ton of like good intent and ambition put behind it. Sometimes like you just have to be directed with like what are the best ways to run a project or a production or a studio? How seriously do you want to take this? But at the end of the day, it can fall into those issues of exploitation and not paying people fairly and things like that. So I do have like a lot of like critical feedback and insight that I love to give to people because I want to make sure that like that's not happening. I don't want to make I want to make sure that indie is a safe environment for people to like really get their foot in the door and really like build that portfolio and find opportunities for work because I love indie. Like I like
Yeah.
that's where I kind of started as a kid where I was like interested in like MS Paint Warrior Cat animated series and
Of
stuff like
course.
that. So
Yeah.
I it's great. Like so as the scene is getting bigger, it's been definitely like interesting to watch it develop and change over time.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. I mean, it's like I said, especially with the wealth of different incredible productions that are put out there. Again, that's why we're having celebrations like today of Indie Animation Day, showcasing people's incredible
Woo.
concepts and
Yeah,
hard work.
shout out to the Sunflower Club for starting this.
Oh,
Thank you so
absolutely.
much.
Oh, trust me, I've had what was it, Jen and why am I blanking on the Sunflower Club's president's name? It's something Rust. I know. Is it Jen Rust? Yeah, I think it's
I'm
Jen.
not sure. Or
Either
is it
way,
Rose?
no, no, it's not Rose. I don't think it's Rose. I know the last
Sorry,
name.
Jen.
Either. Wait, I know. Yeah, Jenna Rose is one of the other people that's like the president of it. But there's either way. Regardless, that's aside from the point. I'm sure they know that I've had both of them on the I've had both Rust and
Yeah.
Rose on the podcast. Anyway, but like shout out to them for really going forth and making this like a legit day that people can come out and truly celebrate some of the incredible stuff,
Mhm.
such as Kappapon Studios, obviously, with the incredible work you guys
Yay!
are
We're on the
doing. Yes,
podcast.
absolutely. I mean, I was gonna say, Maud, I know you talked a lot when it came to like how the studio actually came to be or whatnot. Zombie, I'm curious, like your thoughts on this kind of stuff because it seems like this is a wild road that has been on since you've really dedicated yourself to this kind of
Yeah,
field.
sorry
Like,
for yapping. Please take
no,
the
no,
floor.
no. Don't
No,
apologize for
man.
yapping. Like this is, it's good to get that insight. I'm just curious, especially for you, because I can only imagine for you, like this seems like from someone on the outside looking in, this seems like just a whirlwind of like incredible opportunities for you more than anything else.
God, I don't know how to explain. I just how do I explain other than the fact that it feels so far away, yet it felt like tomorrow. No, tomorrow, yesterday.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but uh, I guess like when how do I put this together into words? Because what I remember isn't the statistics. What I remember most is feeling specific things. Like I was very excited to work on a new thing, but then
Okay.
I got really heartbroken by the fact that it wasn't what I was expecting.
Right.
But then the heartbreak never lasts because when you eventually have there's always the silver lining when it comes to bad situations. And I
Obviously.
think the silver linings were three different silver linings because I got to have three best friends in the whole world.
Oh.
And those three people in my life basically looked at me and was like, hey, I know that this is your dream, and I think we can help you with that. And I would like to be a part of it. And so Capapon to me isn't just like a business venture or anything of the sort. They practically are my future, and I
Mm-hmm.
would love to be with them for as long as I possibly can. So for me, I think when I started working on a bunch of other stuff, I was kind of meandering. I wasn't actually all that inspired to do anything new because in my brain at the time, I felt like, well, everything's already made. Everyone already made what they wanted. And I feel like if I started now, then what I made would be old news.
Right.
But then I started taking commissions with the advice of Maud. And when I started taking commissions in freelance work and then actual like industry, like hardcore industry work, it like reinvigorated something within me. I kind of thought to myself, I love working for other people. I love working with other people.
Oh, absolutely.
And from there, I just kind of realized, as much as I love making ideas, I love helping other people create their own ideas and dreams. So I think for me, I don't have this extensive story, but I just have the emotions that I remember the most.
No, absolutely. I mean, especially with like kind of how you illustrated earlier, talking about watching the like behind the scenes when it came to like Steven Universe and seeing the like the fun community that was within that studio on one hand, like getting that kind of experience with that kind of community, whether it be the best friends with Kappapon or actually working in the industry in one form or fashion. Like it must have been that like almost like full circle moment for you more than anything else of like this is what I
Yeah.
wanted.
Yeah, they both felt like they've been here the whole time, even though I've only known them for like a month.
No, got a
Oh
month.
my
Wait,
gosh.
wait, time out. Did you guys start Kappapon like within a month after y'all met?
Not after we just met. It was more so like after the production that we were on, wrapped and the job was over, we kind of had to learn what it was like communicating with one another outside of a workplace, but as friends
Right.
and as like we built up a personal relationship with each other and kind of just like bonded over um not so great events. So we had like this like bond forged through like war
Yeah. Right.
and like we've been through the trenches.
Friendship through fire.
Yeah, friendship, like
Hmm.
we were literally experiencing trial through fire, and we had this kind of unique connection through that, which I think a lot of people in animation can relate at this point, where it's like you make some really good friends through like very not ideal circumstances, and like through
Yeah.
crunch or like through a lot of like weird, crazy projects that you're on. But like that's how a lot of people that I know like get really close. But anyways,
No, I was
I don't.
I was gonna joke, Maud. I know there's a close friend that you and I have that
Yeah.
every single time there seems to be something messed up in the industry, that's the time when we seem to be
Yeah.
talking a lot more.
Right?
Hmm.
I get you. But like it's fun. Like there's always that silver lining, like what Zombie was saying. But I don't know if we actually started Capapon like officially at like a month after it ended, but it became like an idea that we had that we slowly
Okay.
began developing. Like we didn't make anything official yet. We were just more so talking about like what if we became a team? Like what
Right.
if we teamed up? And stuff like that. Zombie, is that sounding correct? Because it's been 5 years, so I might be getting the
No, like
timeline wrong.
that's it's really funny because we literally were sitting down together and we were just kind of sitting around. We were just like, you know what would be really funny if we like just made like a studio? That'd be funny. And then that's just it. Because we
Yeah,
just took that a little
this has
seriously
been
because we were
one long prank.
like because we just kind of sat back and we were just like, oh, you want to know what would be really funny if we made a logo right now? Do you
Oh,
want to know what would
okay.
be funny if we got an LLC? And then we just kept saying it would be funny if, and then we just kept doing it.
God, this is. I think this is quite possibly the most expensive prank that I've probably heard about more than anything else.
Uh-huh. No, I think like we fell into funny roles. Like we always we had cartoon characters that we used to kin assign each other as, and I think like oh my gosh, mine is Ed from Edda and Eddie. I'm Skipper from Penguins of Madagascar.
I'm
Um
Rico. I love
Rico,
Rico.
yes. I think I'm
Cameron.
Carmilla from the Castlevania like vampire sisters or
Okay.
characters. Like I think we were like, all right, we all have the archetypes. The four of us, we are going to form the like this team of people, and we're gonna work together to make the studio. And we're treating it as like a fun adventure more
Right.
than like a business endeavor. We're going corporate. So no, we were just having fun with it. Oh my gosh, but there was something else I wanted to add about that. Zama, when you brought up like the emotions behind it rather than like the story about like Capapon and like the animation behind it, it did remind me of like, wow, like not only did we make this amazing studio together, but I really want to emphasize the journey that we had as friends and
Yeah.
like everything that
Mhm.
we did for one another because I'm not joking, I owe my career to my friends and I am y'all have said the same about all of us. It's like if we had not done that, if we had not started this team together, we wouldn't be in the place that we are today.
Yep.
And we would talk about like, oh, I would probably still be trying to get freelance commissions for art and illustrations. I would probably like be working like a dead end job, like or just kind of be stuck where I am, like figuring myself out still. And like to an extent, we are still figuring ourselves out.
Right.
But we were able to find a home with one another and like and just beyond career and art and making stuff. Zombies taught me like determination and persistence and like having like a strong work ethic. Rennie has taught me how to like my health. I don't go too deep into this publicly, but I have a few chronic illnesses, and that when we first met, did not really know how to traverse that or navigate that, and she
Right.
taught me so many things about my health that unironically did save me from like being put in like a dire situation. And so like I was able to learn and treat something that I had that was scary and new to me through the help of my friends. And Tilly taught me emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, kindness, compassion, humor. Like I feel like I needed to meet these people and I met them at the exact right moment that I should have to be the person I am today.
Right.
And we just also happen to make art and cartoons together.
Yep.
So silly, so wacky. No, that again, that's very sweet and that's wonderful to hear more than anything else. Like the fact that you guys have, like, this is not just a indie animation studio. This is a studio of friendship at the end of the day. Like, you guys are there for each other in one form or fashion. And I imagine it's led to you guys not only having good opportunities together, but just good opportunities working in one form or fashion.
Yeah.
Like getting to, like you had mentioned or whatnot, like, especially in the past 5 years, getting the chance to work with incredible people and put out some incredible stuff. I'm curious for each of you, at least when it comes to the client work in one form or fashion, do you guys have a personal favorite, like individually, of like, wow, we got a chance to work on this, or wow, I can't believe I did this when it comes to the client
Yeah.
work?
Do you mean like the client work for our studio Kappapon or individually?
Either or, whichever one
Okay.
whichever one you want to put up on your pedestal of pride.
Awesome. Zombie, you go ahead.
Um, I think I was putting my best foot forward when I was working on the trailer animation for the game Mid-Autumn.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
The fight scenes that I put in those, like, I still I still can't believe I animated those in a clip.
Yeah.
Because like I know that like amazing animations can come out of clip. It's just that I wasn't comfortable with animating on clip to the point that I was like, ooh, I don't want to do this ever again. But the fact that as I was like animating this, my friends were like, you can do this. You got to do this. You got to lock in. And I'm like, oh, okay, I got this. And then what came out of it was just, I don't know, kind of peak. Not to toot my own horn here, but
No, this
I was
this is
so
the
proud
podcast
of
for
myself.
you. This is the podcast for you to toot your own horn, okay? Like you like like screech to like the highest peak possible and be like, I did this. Look at this.
God. And yeah, and I guess like another highlight of my life was literally when we finished the trailer for Hearts of Titan and I saw the whole thing finished and I was like, wow,
Yeah.
it's really there, like it's really happening. And I get to do more of this.
Yes, and I know we're gonna be talking about that here in a second because I'm excited to talk
Yes.
about that more than anything else. But Maud, I have to know for you, at least when it comes to client work, what has been like the peak for you?
Oh, that's so funny. Because I think it's our first. Like I think it's our first client
Okay.
project, which was Endless, which was the
Right.
Amori music video, because that's where it all started. Like that was patient zero. That was the floor of Kappapon. And I remember us working so hard just to kind of like set the scene of like we're like this is our first big opportunity together where we can really have full creative control and like make something that we love, and so like let's do this. And we made that music video in I think 2 months.
Oh wow.
Like it was like don't do that, guys. But so we really like just put our all into it because this is like at that point we didn't have anything else going for us. Like
Right.
this was like our big break that we treated it like that. And so I remember waking up every day, being on my rinky dink laptop that I've had since high school, and like chipping away on my little Wacom tablet
Mm-hmm.
in my Clip Studio or Photoshop, whatever I was using at the time, to just animate these scenes with my friends on a Discord call. And I remember back then I was struggling with undiagnosed GERD at the time. And
Ooh.
so yeah, well, a whole other story. But I was sick every day, like working through nausea and like all that kind of like icky stuff. But I was like so locked in. Like
Right,
I was
right.
so committed to this. It was like I gotta keep going. And so
You know what? I gotta say, I admire your dedication, but good lord, ooh, that
oh
sounds
yeah.
bad.
Yeah, gang, if you have acid reflux, go check it with a doctor.
Yep.
I'm okay now, but it was very severe at the time, and it still is if I am not like taking medication and like monitoring my diet. But back then, like I was just like I was chugging, like I was so locked in because I really was passionate about this,
Right.
and just to assure everyone, I'm good now.
Mm-hmm.
Not no sicky. Like I'm pretty good with my acid reflux and GERD. But no, like sincerely, like that's how dedicated we all were to like getting this done, and it was really really fun. And then of course I do have to boast my personal favorite in terms of like working independently, individually would be Castlevania Nocturne.
Yes.
Just because I've been a hardcore Castlevania fan since high school. And so I've been cosplaying Sci-Fi Belnadas for ages. I
Right.
have a keychain collection of Trevor Belmont. Like I adore Alucard. I have so many bookmarked fan fictions with the three of them on AO3. Like I love Castlevania. So I was so stoked to
I was gonna
work
say,
on Castlevania Nocturne.
yes. I imagine as someone that might have a little bit of appreciation for the franchise, to put it mildly. As someone that it must have been surreal to actually get a chance to play in that world and really bring that world to life. As I imagine for compositing as well, especially with all the shadows and lighting that comes with a show like Castlevania Nocturne.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, but I will not fangirl out about the compositing because I do love comp and Castlevania, and it was so fun seeing like that side of everything as well as Motu and Skull Island. But regardless,
Oh yeah,
I do know
naturally.
that you do want to continue
Well, I,
with the next
I
question.
I do, but like I feel like I'm missing an opportunity if I don't at least ask. There's gotta be at least there's gotta be like one favorite scene that you just loved like compositing for.
I was a part of killing Richter's mom. I
Out of context, that is a fun statement.
I
Check with
remember I remember working on episode 1 of Castlevania Nocturne, and I was posted up in my room, listening to oh gosh, what was it? Nightcore Rockefeller Street, and
Oh
I
my!
am comping the shot of Richter's mom getting impaled. Well, it was like 1, 2, 7, 3, Rockefeller Street. Like I was listening to like Pretty Little Rave Girl. Like I was listening to a Nightcore playlist. Also, well, like comping gore or something. Like I was having a great time.
I now need to. I either need to edit or someone out there needs to edit that scene, but with Rockefeller Street as like the audio for
Please.
it. Oh my goodness! I'm glad you're so enthusiastic about killing someone's mother. Oh no!
Yeah, I'll do it again.
I'll do it again. No, that's incredible to hear, and like I'm so glad that again, Kappapon has been able to allow you both to both have these opportunities to work on such incredible stuff in one form or fashion. But I also imagine it allows you guys the opportunity to really dive into one of the big things you guys want to do, and that's produce your own stuff. Especially when it comes to the biggest thing that you guys have been working on for years at this point, and that is the fantastical action comedy indie animated series Hearts of Titan.
Woo!
Yay!
Now, before we even start talking about how this even came to be, for those that may have no idea what in the world we're even talking about in the first place, how would you guys describe Hearts of Titan?
Oh gosh, I used to have the log line memorized.
It,
Hearts of
it, I
Titan.
was gonna say,
Yeah.
if not, I have it written down right here. If you want me
Oh,
to,
thank you, Post. Okay, sure. You take the
I'll
floor.
take. Hearts of Titan is the story of three unusual young adults and a disgraced space prince on the path to unraveling an intergalactic mystery. Their suspicious full ride scholarship is only the beginning of a much greater journey. As the story unfolds, our heroes are met with a cataclysmic. Wow, wonderful. Just what I need to do.
Yeah.
Our heroes are met with a cataclysmic chain of events containing magic, mayhem, and cybernetic criminals.
Yeah! Thank
Yes.
you. Yes, that is the log line of Hearts of Titan.
I was gonna say I'm available for voice acting and voiceover work if anyone needs it. But like past just like the log line, which is a fantastic log line. That's why I wrote it down because I wanted to make sure that it was stated out there. How would you guys describe Hearts of Titan for those that may have no idea past that log line that I just said?
I would describe it as nostalgic fun, inspired by early 2000s action cartoons while putting a more modern stylized twist. So if you've ever watched shows like Ben 10, My Life as a Teenage Robot, Teen Titans, Generator Rex, and my favorite that is heavily inspired, Hearts of Titan, Symbiotic Titan.
There you go.
Whoa.
There you go.
Whoa. Who could have seen that coming?
Yup.
What, Hearts of Titan being so similarly named to Symbionic Titan, the great show that was not given the full proper run as done by Gendy Tartakovsky? No.
No, absolutely. You would be surprised. People think that Hearts of Titan is actually inspired by Voltron, which also when like you can compare us to whatever, but that was not intentional. People say that Ryan looks a lot like Keith from Voltron. I'm like,
Okay.
no, it's Lance Lunas. Okay. Peace and love on planet Earth.
I was going to say, Zombie, is there anything else you wanted to add to that fun description?
I guess like, oh my god, everything that I want to say is a spoiler. I can't do that.
Okay, fine.
You have to move on.
We will move on. If that's the case, let's at least. So we see, obviously, this is an incredible, unique, literally out of this world concept. How did this concept even come to be? Like, how was Hearts of Titans developed into this fun idea that you guys are producing these days?
And look at Maud.
Oh. Okay. So I had a pipe dream baby project that I had since childhood that I'm like, yes, this is my cartoon. I'm gonna make this into a cartoon. And then I woke up one day and I'm like, no, and I killed it. And so and at that point, I'm like, well, I have these friends. Like, let's make something with the intent of making this into an animated series. I'm way too married to so many ideas from, like, my childhood story that I've been, like, daydreaming about in my head, making OCs for years. I need to make something that is, I am okay with, like, changing. And, like, I'm okay with, like, people perceiving it and like having their own interpretations of the story, and I need to be like less married and cagey about concepts and ideas. So I just completely wiped it slate clean and started with a new story, a new project, and it started as a direct love letter to Symbiotic Titan because that was my favorite cartoon growing up.
Okay.
So that's how the idea began. It was a lot more closer in relation with that series, but then it became its own thing over time as like we developed, and we had this collaboration going on between me and like the rest of Kappapon where we were like throwing ideas around and all this sort of stuff. And this was so ridiculous, but I remember when Kappapon was before even official studio, when we were just kind of talking about hypotheticals, where we're like, if we made an original story, which one of the four of us gets to pick first? Because we all had our own ideas and our own ideas for like stories and making cartoons. And I raised my hand where I'm like, well, actually, I already saved up to try and produce something. I had like a couple $1,000s of savings. I'm like, well, I will put this towards getting Hearts of Titan started, which it wasn't called that at the time. I don't know what it was called, but I'm like, I have an idea, and because I have the most money in my savings account, I get first dibs.
Okay.
So that was ridiculous, but they're like, okay, like that logic checks out. So we pivoted into developing Hearts of Titan together, coming up with like ideas and stories. And our first real like pivotal moment was the creation of Orion. And he
Yep.
was probably our first real like milestone in character creation. He was one of the first characters that we had created together. I think Corey came second. Corey and Ryan were
Yes.
very much like tied the heaviest to the inspirations of what the show was, and then the rest kind of like developed over time as we went. um Piece of Heart of Titan lore for any of like the fans out there: Damien looked so different than what he looks like now.
Damien
He
almost would look exactly like I don't know, Ryan's cousin or something at the time.
Oh
he looked like a
wow.
bootleg like Ryan cousin. Like it was, we don't know why he was like that. And then bless Rennie's heart. Like, thank you, Rennie. She wanted to go in a completely different direction for Damien. And so we're like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. Because everyone
Hey.
out of the four of us had a fave. Like, out of the, like, we all had a character that we kind of had a lot of creative control over. And so Rennie was like, I kind of want to try this out for Damien. I would like him a lot more as a character if we lean more into, like, these type of, like, archetypes and, like, aesthetics. And I'm like, sounds good. That tracks. Um,
Maddie,
yeah.
because like I remember very clearly because like we were working on the characters and we all kind of sat back and we were just like, these characters really don't speak to us. They're actually really fucking boring.
Oh wow.
Um, and then you were like, wait, I got a good idea. Because in a fandom, there's always going to be a person's favorite. We should pick a random character, and then that we should put so much of what we love in a character into the character itself, and then we
Yes.
will go from there. And then we
Yes.
got to choose random characters, and because of that, I am completely obsessed with one of the characters, and it's
Yes.
to the point that I literally every single birthday I ask people to draw that character for
You can
me
say it's
because he's
Erebus. It's
well,
okay.
like, yeah, but like he's like my favorite or
Yeah.
whatever.
No,
Look,
like that was the rule that we assessed for like, okay, you get this character. You get this one. Put your love and soul into them.
Yeah,
so
and
I
I put a little too much.
there is no shame on this podcast. You can love your fictional characters all you want, okay? Like you can love your creations more than anything else, all right? Especially with the
Yeah,
amount of time you guys put in
absolutely.
there. So it does lead me to ask though, because obviously, we all have the favorites. I have to know whose favorite was Corey, just out of curiosity.
I think
I point
Corey
at
is like,
Maud.
yeah, no, I was about to say, I think it could be me, but I feel like Corey is like the universal beloved one out of
Okay.
us. Like everyone out of like in our group of like friends loves Corey immensely. So
Look,
Mm-mm.
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, look, I am also guilty as charged more than anything else because every single opportunity I get to see of Corey, especially when I was reading the description and you guys literally described them as a quirked up clown. Like you use that
Yes.
description, I'm going to immediately love this character no matter what.
Yay!
Yes.
She's so sweet. She's like the type of clown that just loves being a clown and performing. Like it's like her, she puts like all of her love and joy into making people smile. So she's a very authentic, like true to like the craft type of clown. So she's very fun. Um the character that I probably put the most into is Ryan. I'm so sorry,
No,
gang.
no, that's valid. That is extremely valid. Being obviously the one of the major centerpieces of this, and like the thing that more or less is like driving the story forward, seeing how Orion or Ryan is basically the one that they are the disgraced prince in this situation. Like they are the ones that have to be in this unique situation, thus relying on the other people. And yeah, I can see why you put a lot of thought and emphasis into Ryan more than anything else.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And for like the audience back home, the main four characters are Ryan slash Orion, uh, Corey, Elias, and Damien, and we just kind of abbreviate that to the Rect team,
Yep.
REKD.
Yep.
So we call them Rect, and like it's stupid and funny because it's the early 2000s. Like in the story, it's early 2000s, and
Right.
so like it takes place on a college campus, but it has like that kind of sci-fi, um, like fantasy kind of twist to it, the story. And it's like again like heavily inspired on early 2000s like action shows, but with more of like that inspiration pulling from Flying Bark's work. Like we really love Lego Monkey Kid, we really love
Yes.
Rise, and all those like action cartoons that people are producing today. And so like that we kind of want to add that like fun flair, more modern style to the show as well. But like in terms of making Hearts of Titan to where we got today, I think a good and really important part of this was not like what we're doing right now, which is the 5 minute animated short that we raised funds for on BackerKit, the comic,
Hmm.
the reward fulfillment that we're currently doing. It was the I think 3 to 4 years that we put into the proof of concept, which
Oh
is that
yeah.
1 minute animated trailer
Mhm.
that you saw last year. We put years of labor into that, like that 1 minute, and it was because that we were doing so many other things at the time. We had to make money, we had to like get other jobs, but we're also putting a lot of work and time into this. And I know that it may not look it, but I do want to emphasize just how expensive animation is.
Oh yeah.
That like if I'm really pulling the receipts out, that was like tens of thousands of dollars to make. Um, that trailer alone,
Yeah,
and that does
I
not
bet.
cover like studio fees as well. So just like I want a lot of people to understand like the cost of what running a studio can take, as well as making sure that your indie production is paying your artists, whether that is whether how you ever acquire that money, you need to have that. And what I was doing at the time was working full time on top of this,
Yeah, goodness.
balancing. I think in a span of 1 year, I worked on 4 different animated series, like 4 shows, as well as taking client work, different projects. And I was putting the majority of my savings I was making into the proof of concept, into the Kappapon Studio. And that wasn't just me. We've had like other members of our team, Zami and Tilly, who helped me co-produce, and
Right.
like the four of us combined, like we all worked together to make this happen. And I kind of was like designated business head
Right.
because I was putting a lot of I was the main provider in setting up this business, which we were doing in tangent to making this proof of concept. So I was like making sure that our LLC was registered, which highly encourage if you're trying to like raise money and do a crowd fund and like make a studio. Please get your studio registered. I
Hmm.
was working getting trademarks settled, making sure that we have contracts, and on top of like marketing and like social media and building up our audience, because a lot of the time people don't realize how much work goes into a crowd fund and how many years in advance you have to prepare for it.
Oh yeah.
And so just to throw out a generalized number, because I'm not a professional, but you have to have a pretty massive following, or at least a really dedicated following, for to have a successful crowdfund. And so we knew that we had to kind of do the legwork ourselves
Hmm.
in building up an audience, building up people who are interested in seeing our work. So we didn't jump immediately into crowdfunding because nobody knew who we were. Nobody
Right.
knew what Hearts of Titan was. So we spent years putting money, effort, time, and labor into Hearts of Titan and the setting up our studio, as well as trying to start promoting who we are and our team and the characters on social media, and kind of just getting people acquainted with this story. And seems like Cornchip is probably the fan favorite. People love the clown cat, but
Yep, yep, that's fair.
Oh yeah, oh for sure. But like I kind of want people to know like all of the work behind the scenes that kind of goes into making literally a 1 minute animated short. And trust me, there were so many pitfalls, there were so many like issues or like problems that we had to solve, and like so many different like behind the scenes things that we like were not expecting, but we also were able to like get through and figure out, one of which is my fan favorite, my absolutely, I love this so much. The second that the trailer was done, my After Effects corrupted and all of my plugins were no longer usable. So
Oh no.
I could, and if we had issues with shots that needed to be like re-rendered, I could not, because if I tried to go back into the source file, my After Effects would like explode. And none of my plugins, none of my very, very nice, expensive plugins that I use for work were no longer usable. So
Oh
we,
no!
by that point, the trailer thankfully was pretty much done, but
Right.
we did notice a few like issues like oh that shot has aliasing in it, there's banding, and I would just be like clutching my skull, like tearing hair out, like oh shoot, I
Right.
can't re-render that shot. You can obviously see there's banding here and that there's crunchy lines on this character in this shot, and I'm like I just have to peace and love on planet Earth and step away and call it done. So even at the very very last moment there were still like things that we had to kind of like problem solve and figure out, and my After Effects just completely shutting down on me was one of the big ones that like even the last moment like it was very very like unfortunate, but everything else went pretty much well, like the crowdfund itself. We were very much like on it every single day promoting it,
Oh yeah.
making content, making social media posts. So like, and even in advance, like we had a spreadsheet of like all the social media posts that we were planning out through the course of the campaign. We had like a backlog of content ready to go, and we were passing content and like reels and scripts around back and forth,
Right.
making sure that we were doing this the right way and that we were prepared for everything. But yeah, like that's kind of a summary of like what it was like from start to finish for this proof of concept to the crowdfund.
And I was gonna say that's just like more or less when it comes to like the business aspect and a lot of the technical aspect or whatnot. It's not even like coming into the aspect of actually like making this world and making these characters and bringing these characters to life in one form or fashion. I was gonna say, Zombie, I know you being one of the Viz devs as well as the lead storyboard artist for Hearts of Titans or whatnot. It must have been both. It must have been at least a fun challenge, a challenge alone, but hopefully a fun challenge to actually bring this thing to life in the first place.
I think one of my favorite aspects about my friends, specifically about Mod, is that whenever something doesn't work,
Mm-hmm.
they will literally just say, "No, this isn't working.
Okay.
Let's do something else." And I preferred that over kind of like meandering around the answer of being like, "Oh, maybe we can work this out." It's like if it doesn't work, they'll tell me, and I'll be like, "Absolutely, let's immediately start another idea." And I think because of that, there's so much art that I had made, and every single time there was something that I was like a little too married to, I would kind of sit down and I think to myself, like, hmm, I think maybe I need to take a step back. Because if I'm getting too overwhelmed with something like an idea that I really wanted to keep, maybe instead of completely trashing it, I could just write it down somewhere and then put it aside and we could use it for something else in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think one of my favorite memories, mind you, I'm fine, and also don't do this, guys.
Oh no.
But at some point, I had really bad wrist pain because I
Oh
kept
no.
I
working.
remember
And
the what was it called?
Was it carpal tunnel? I hope it was not
Tendinitis.
tendinitis. Ooh.
Not is it?
and I don't
Oh,
remember, but I just know that it felt really bad. Like whenever I would just rest my hand, it felt like there was a cold metal rod within my wrist.
Oh, that doesn't sound good at all. Oh no.
It does not. And so all of my friends were like, "You gotta relax." And I'm like, I still want to work. I still want to work. And then I started like, I still kept producing work. And my friends were like, "What are you doing? I thought you were resting your wrist." And I'm like, "I am." And they're like, "Then what did you use to draw?" And I was like, "My mouth." I
Oh my
grabbed a
god.
pen and then I drew with my mouth.
Look, I admire your I
tendinitis. Sorry, go ahead.
tendonite. I was gonna say I once again the same with Maud with the Gerd story or whatever it was earlier on. When I admire your dedication, but please take care of yourself.
Absolutely. I'm definitely not going to be like that anymore, but it was just the fact that I sat down and I was thinking to myself, like, I need to finish this. I really want to finish this. But if I keep working with my left and right hand, because I'm semi-ambidextrous, but my right hand doesn't draw as well as my mouth, apparently, because when I proceeded to start drawing with my mouth, I was like, oh, I can get through this. It'll be slower,
Oh no.
but I can finish coloring things. So that was one of the funnier memories that I started like laughing at earlier.
Funnier, painful, but definitely funnier.
Yes.
A lot of literally blood, sweat, and tears were put into this game.
Yeah, no joke. And I mean, like, seeing what you guys have been able to put out there in the first place, like, again, the character designs are absolutely stunning. I could look at these characters all day. The setting, I would say, like, the settings and like the colors, like they just really pop out at you, whether it be like the really serious, hey, the empire is crumbling, or the our main characters like flying through the city for one reason or another, or however it is, like it looks absolutely stunning in one form or fashion. Like, I can only imagine for you guys, especially getting to this point and having so many people already loving and appreciating it, to the point to where at this point, literally a year ago today, at the time that we are recording, because it is July 27th, a year ago today, you guys were able to get funded the 5-minute like proof of concept pilot or whatnot out there.
You're right.
I did my research.
Happy anniversary, you guys!
Happy anniversary.
But again, like the fact that you guys are able to have that much love, like it's gotta be impressive to think how far you've been able to come along with this concept, but also how far you still have to go to really get this thing out there and for people to further show that love and support.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like the what comes next was pretty like crazy and very surreal for us, because we put years of like just building up to get to that point of success. So when we got there, it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't think we'd get this far. And I talked about this in a like private like stream for our backers recently, but it was the moment where we kind of had to sit back and be like, well, what is sustainable? Like, how can we like reasonably continue producing Hearts of Titan work without exacerbating our resources and crunching,
right?
Or like going beyond what the amount that we have is, which is only enough funds to produce a 5-minute animated short. We had stretch goals, of course, but we never reached those stretch goals. We just made just barely enough to fund the 5-minute short,
right?
And we didn't really want to like kind of hold out hope and like hope like that we could finally make the pilot, like the fully animated pilot, because at that point it was scripted. Like we had written everything out and we were prepared to do whatever we wanted with that. And we were like, okay, after this 5-minute short, how do we continue telling Hearts of Titan's story? And I remember sitting down around this time actually last year with like everyone, and it's like, okay, here's what I think reasonably we can do, and that is scale down. We have to scale down Hearts of Titan for now and finish the 5-minute animated short. That's completely funded and locked in. We are going to make the 5-minute animated short. Actually, it's going really well. It's going really well, guys. It's so much fun. But we're like, how do we tell the pilot or episode 1 of the story?
Right.
And we were like, comic. Like we are going to downscale and make a comic first, which we're excited for because we all love comics,
right?
But we've never made one as a team yet. So we're like, oh my gosh, like, no, this is like a really fun new way to explore creativity and art with each other. And so we took this as an opportunity to try new territory. And now we are very slowly but like surely developing and drawing out all the chapters. I think as of recording, we are balancing chapter 3 and 4 right now with each other. Okay. There are 12 chapters total, but we are taking our time with it because we knew that like this was initially intended to be animated, so we kind of want to just bring our best foot forward, like pull out all the stops visually to make sure that like people get the vision, like people can see the vision of what Hearts of Titan can be. So if in the future we can actually translate this into animation, you can still look at this comic and be like, wow, this is a great story. I really hope one day this can be animated.
Yeah.
So we're doing this comic as well as the animated short. And like that's been going along. It's like a prologue to episode 1. So you get to see more of like a down-to-earth, more grounded and emotional story of like these characters before the cataclysmic event that is like how they all meet each other.
Right.
And it's like it's almost built as an anthology. It's sort of like you get to see their lives in this transitional period of childhood to adulthood and like how they all kind of arrive to this college, which is Boxwood University.
Yep.
And it's emotional. It is bittersweet. It's supposed to kind of give you that warm feeling of like nostalgic childhood, but also that kind of like bitter reality of like this is no longer my reality anymore. Like this is once was my life, now it is not. I'm in this new chapter now. So it's kind of like that, but it's like kind of mostly to convey what our studio is capable of, like in terms of writing and visuals. We want to showcase what our studio is really capable of making. And so this is more of like a show off piece where it's like, look, like if you give us funding and support, you can see this, but like also read our comic, and if you can compare the two, you could get this comic animated. Like if you look at like the quality of the work that we were making,
Oh
we can
yeah.
make some really good stuff. And this is on top of the third production going on, which is backer kit reward fulfillment and merchandise.
Right.
So we are also working on developing prototypes, getting designs finalized to get into manufacturing, which we are very close to doing as of right now. And
Nice.
this is exclusively for our backers. I'm so sorry, but we don't want to overextend ourselves, and
Mm-hmm.
that was our goal. Is we want to use the backer kit reward fulfillment, making the merch for that, as a testing grounds for what we could potentially make for merchandise in the future. So we're not opening up a public shop quite yet, not until we can really learn what it takes to run a shop and what it takes like to make merchandise and get through manufacturing and shipping by hand, because that's what we're doing. And so I have to kind of operate the shipping and handling myself and kind of learn like all of the work that really goes into that. And so once we kind of like design all the posters and the enamel pins and the keychains and the charms and like actually make those and ship them out, then we'll be like, okay, so for future revenue streams and how we can actually generate income for the studio, what is really within our bandwidth to do for merchandise? And
Right.
so that's what I've been researching a lot. I have a few point of sale manager friends of mine that I've been talking to, a lot of Artist Alley companions and close friends of mine who I love. It's a huge dream of mine to also work in the Artist Alley.
There you go.
So like that's like something ideally we'd want to shoot for with Kappapon. And yeah, like so we're trying to stay as reasonable and practical as we can, while also making sure that we're at the end of the day making something really good,
Oh hell yeah.
telling a wonderful story and being authentic and enjoying the every part of the process.
I mean, I can only imagine, especially with like again seeing the love and support you guys have already been able to get at this point. Like, who knows how far you can be able to go? And I appreciate how much of a business person you are being about this as well. Because obviously,
Thank you.
because I imagine the creative person in you wants to get this stuff out there, wants to do so much.
Mhm.
But the business side of you, the level headed side of you, is like stepping back and just be like, okay, we have this. We need to figure out how to do this. If we're gonna do this, is this going to work? Is this not going to work? That like it's good to have that bit of like based in reality more than anything else, because especially
Yes.
when you have a cartoon that you're making that's so fantastical and out of this world and has such creative elements such as an intergalactic mystery, villains with cybernetic enhancements, full ride scholarships, it's nice to have some level
Fully
of reality.
choreographed action scenes that we're trying to make like magic powers and like giant space titans and whatever you're gonna see in the comic. I'm not spoiling, but like it's
Ooh.
yeah, we're being really ambitious here, but we knew that like we had to scale it back because this is a like an action cartoon. Like
Yeah.
we want to make something like super like visually stunning and like over the top, but like that takes a lot of time, money, and resources to do.
Oh yeah.
So if we wanted to really tell a story that was like more financially reasonable, we would probably have to shift gears in an entirely different cartoon or series to make. But because we're committed to this, we are sticking with it. But we are just trying to make sure that we are staying reasonable and practical, while also having fun and making this together with our friends. While also really enjoying the community that we've built up from this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was gonna say, like, I've had on other people that have done action animated series before. Most recently, 2K Doppler, who did Brooklyn Broke the Universe.
Yeah!
Um,
Congrats!
yeah,
Congrats on getting funded!
yeah, they got funded, but like, especially seeing the fight scenes that they want to like put out there, whatnot. Like, it's not going to be easy. I'm so glad that they got funded and got that stuff taken care of. And so for you guys, yeah, like I imagine you want to have some of the coolest action scenes out there, but it also costs a good bit of money. All right.
Yes.
And again, unlike in your series where there seemingly is full ride scholarships to just do whatever the hell you want, suspiciously or whatnot, you're not going to get it all up front. You have to kind of earn that slowly but surely. I mean, you can attest to this as well, especially with the community you have been able to develop against this incredible concept and the love that the characters and the ideas and the actions been getting. Like, it has to be a bit surreal to think how far you guys have been able to come with this concept.
It is surreal. I think like Zombie, how did you feel when like we first posted that one Ryan reel of like with him and the corn chip, and that was like our first real post on social media that really popped off and got attention.
Well, like in my brain, I was like, yeah, this will go off. I think people would really like this. And then the actual reaction that people gave, I felt like my heart swelling. I was like, oh, this is exactly what I want. This is like so many people are seeing our work. And I'm like, I like figuratively looked at like Maud and I was like, we gotta do more of this.
There you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
we just started being unapologetically like silly and memey on our accounts, and it has generated a lot of interest
Oh,
with
yeah.
our social media. But like we see the comments of people like recognizing characters and like calling back to previous posts and being like emotionally invested in our story and our and like in our characters, and it's like wow, like this is what making cartoons is all about. Like no way. Like this is it. So it's been so joyous and so fun seeing like the community grow and like getting recognized for the work that we put into this, and even getting like recognized for like our other work too, where like people were like, "Oh my gosh, you worked on like Forget and Satina and like
Yeah.
Emanations." Like I love those guys.
Oh, yeah.
So it's crazy. So like it's very interesting kind of seeing like the social media internet side of like indie animation and how people are promoting themselves and like putting their foot out there and really like kind of building up a network and a community, because I remember like when indie was so small,
Mm-hmm.
when it first started promoting Hearts of Titan and like Kappapon on Twitter, there's only a handful of people that I really connected with, and it was like back then I think it was like Eddie Mead, if you know like Circus of Wishes. It was Jax from like the Heroes of the Tomorrow. It was
Yeah.
Christopher Wade for
The
Will
Will of
of
Monsters.
Monsters. Yes, and Jordan Whitman, who is Port by the Sea, and like a
Yep.
whole other handful of creators. I got the pleasure of like actually talking to like Ashley Nichols and Dave, and like actually learning what it's like to run a production and
Mm-hmm.
getting that real serious advice on what this takes. And I remember receiving all of this like insight from other peers alike, and that's when I knew I was like, okay, I'm taking this seriously. Whereas
Yeah.
like I know this is going to be a hard thing to do, but there's a lot of other people who are doing it with me, and I believe in all of us. And so the indie scene was so small. I remember like interacting with like so many different creators and like seeing different projects begin to crop up and grow. And there's like so many that I'm so excited for.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I know that I'm not super active on like social media, but like trust me, I know you. I
Oh,
know who you
absolutely.
are.
I mean, there's a
But
reason
there's
why we're doing stuff like, again, having this episode coming out on Indie Animation Day to let people know, hey, we're
absolutely.
excited for this stuff. We're excited for indie animation, seeing how much it's been able to grow, especially with what you guys have been able to do and letting that grow as well.
Yeah, like okay, if it's like in the spirit of Indie Animation Day, I would love to go down memory lane with like some of the projects that I have been inspired by and have been seeing over the years. And of
Go
course I
for it.
just listed off some of my other like peers.
Yeah.
Zombie, I want to like toss it to you real quick, but has there been any like projects that's like you have really been inspired by or like really are excited for in terms of indie?
I'm going to be genuinely honest with you. My eyes are technically glazing over right now. They are looking right and left, two corners of the room. I'm very tired.
It is like 2 to
But
3 a.m. So I understand. I'm so sorry. Um, oh my gosh, there's a lot, and I wish I could like recall every single one. But most recently, Sunnyside Rolls of Korra.
Yep.
I really am excited for them. They're doing a really good job out there. Like so, great work team. Who else? I mentioned I mentioned Sunflower Club, and I once again want to share my appreciation for like thank you for like starting Indie Animation Day and producing the content that you do. You've really helped to like build up this like community within like the indie space. Um, oh my gosh, there is. Hold on, give one moment,
You're
please.
good. You're
I can do
good.
this. There's been like Evan and Lumi and the Great Big Galaxy. I
Yes.
remember when like we have spoken about crowdfunding and all the sorts. There's been Indigo, like there's like another sci-fi kind of like series with like aliens in space, and like that's been really really cool to see. Um, shoot,
I mean,
I
I think a good one we can easily shout out is our buddy Show Tuesday getting Tally Ho like right there closer to the finish line.
That's right. Yeah, Tally Hose should be coming out fairly soon. So good luck to them. I'm really excited to see where that goes. There was actually just recently Indie Animation Pitch Night.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to check out what they've been doing, because Kappapon was a part of the first year with
Hmm.
a bunch of other people. And like that was probably like a very pivotal moment for us and like getting our foot out the door because that actually, fun fact, led to us actually pitching Hearts of Titan for the first time ever.
Oh wow.
And we got noticed by a really cool studio that allowed us the experience to pitch Hearts of Titan. We are still remaining where we are today, which is producing independently as
Right.
Capricorn,
Right.
but we had such an amazing experience, like getting to actually share our story through making a pitch Bible and giving that to a studio and like having like that like real experience that I can now hold and like continue to have and use that for the future. So like that
Right.
was great. There's been Chimera Bunny and like once again like Wild Card. I'm really
Yes.
excited for Polywog.
Yes.
I'm super excited for the Lovers.
Hmm.
I know that like they had just such a successful crowdfund. Oh, how could I forget Mandelbrot Hall, Flimpo. We had very close like campaigns running with each other.
Hmm.
We were kind of sandwiched between Flimpo and Studio Psycho with Heathens, and like
Yep.
that was really fun. Like the three of us, we tanked those crowdfunds. Good job, team.
Let's
So
go.
we all thankfully smashed it and all got like our projects funded, and that was super exciting. So very happy that we all were able to do that. So looking forward to seeing Mandelbrot Hall and Heathens.
Yes.
um what else am I forgetting? There's been Damien's project of Ghost Friends. There has been Hey, if you know Toonrific
Oh,
Tariq, like Hey looks so good.
I know Toonerific Tariq. Trust me, I've had him on the podcast as well.
Yeah. No, like it looks so good.
It
I'm
looks
so
so
excited for
great.
Hey. There's also there's Bree. There's Bree with the three tomes. The three
Yep.
tomes just recently also showed an update for like an animatic. So please check out their animatic for the three tomes. There is what is it? Sinking Road
Yep.
made by Moa, and they animate all of that on a mouse. So that is very wild, like super super impressive.
Yep.
There's Miranda Mation's Atlas in the Stars.
Yes.
Atlas in the Stars is so amazing, and episode 2 is still in the works right now. So like, good job, keep trucking, keep trucking. There is Travis Dungeon Flippers. I'm good friends with Travis. Salute you, Travis. Also congrats on the second episode of
Yeah.
crowdfund.
Yep.
Hell
Molly's
yes.
cute. I'm a huge fan of Molly. Cleveland is also awesome. So that those are a very cute duo. Who else? Revamp Roses. I also was a part of the indie pitch night with Revamped, and like that's also very exciting. So I also know that there is like I got this. I got this, gamers. There is of course Charles Moss, Detective Cat. There's so many. Corey Beepington.
Yes.
Corey has been making a really cool series. I think they did have a crowdfund in the past. So whatever they're doing now, whether it's that or their current thesis film, been doing amazing work. I really like Corey's comp as well. So like. Everyone's so talented in the indie scene. I could keep going.
I
There's
was.
like Dee's World.
Yep. I was gonna say, look. There's a reason why on my YouTube page there is a legit playlist for just indie animation projects. All right, just
That's
because
true. Just go watch the playlist.
there you go. Just go watch the playlist, and like obviously, I'm gonna be shouting out a lot of the projects, whether it be at the end of the episode or like on my socials or whatnot, because there's so many incredible projects. and they're all doing so many wonderful things. It's good to see the progress that, especially with how much the indie animation field has been able to grow, just like what you guys have been able to do at Kappapon. How much Hearts of Titans, what started off as you wanting to, as four friends after a project being like, hey, we should make a studio together, to here you guys are right now producing a 5-minute short pilot as well as some comics to really get this incredible unique idea out there into the world that is so exciting. It does lead me to ask, like, I know obviously like I said, the 5-minute shorts in the work, there's still comics to come. What should people expect from Kappapon, and specifically what should people expect from Hearts of Titans here in the future?
Oh, okay. What to expect? So I've already kind of like went over like we are going to make this animated short. We're
Mm-hmm.
going to make the comic. So
Right.
expect like finished products. We are going to commit into making these completed projects. We are going to give you guys a story that you've been waiting for years for us to tell. The 5-minute short is going to be coming out next year. We're along with the comic. So we are producing the comic by chapter on Patreon. So it's coming out when we can finish it. I cannot guarantee like the exact like timeline of when chapters are going to be released. But if you want to read it for free, we have a free membership. You can check the comic out on Patreon.
There you go.
Chapter 3 is still in the works, but you can read chapter 1 and 2 and get early access if you donate $5 to our 3. I think it's 3 actually to our lowest tier. So you can support us through that, or just wait a month after chapter release and read it for free as a free membership,
Yep.
or you can like follow us on socials. You can check out our YouTube out for any like new updates and memes or illustrations that we make. Please follow us on YouTube because that's probably where we're going to continue to try and get ready for live streams, which is
Mm-hmm.
something that we are trying to get back into right now, is live streaming for our audience, answering questions, doing work streams, etc. As well as the merch. So I know that I said that the backer kits, we are prioritizing that. We're going to make sure that we get all that done and settled before we ever expand. But do hope that like in the future that we are going to be getting manufacturing done and actually providing merchandise and products for our whole audience, our whole community. So cornchip plushie might be real. Like I know a lot of people have been
Ooh.
requesting that. I will not say like what exactly the plan is, but that's something that we are slowly going to be chipping away at to make sure that we can produce for you guys. But for now, we are focusing on the backer kit reward fulfillment.
I say so. What Maud is saying is, we hear you. We hear you.
Yeah, exactly. Corn chip is gonna be real. Don't worry, guys. Um, So, and then I think like one thing that I do kind of want to tease, because we just kind of went down the rabbit hole of like business and legal with that, is Hearts of Titan may not be the only thing that we're producing. And that's not
Ooh.
something that we are going to be announcing for a while, because we believe that we should prioritize what we have promised first before
Right.
anything else.
Right.
Make sure that you have a finished product, make sure that you have your committed priorities settled away first before you produce any other projects, because animation requires a huge team and a lot of money and a lot of resources. So don't
Obviously, yeah.
overextend yourself. So once we are in a good spot with potentially more Capcom related projects, which we're not going to be doing more than like one or two at a time. I promise you guys.
Right.
That's
Right.
not something that I personally believe in terms of like overextending your team. But we're gonna be settling away Hearts of Titan first, making sure that we have fulfilled what we have made for so far. But in the future, that's not the only story that we want to tell. Later down the line, once we have the capacity to, we want to pursue other ideas. But first and foremost comes the one that we have shared, which is Hearts of Titan.
Mm-hmm.
And I stand by that. So, but do know that like we as a studio, our goals in the future is to expand and to tell more stories, and make this sustainable, make indie animation more sustainable for making original stories, making animations and content, stuff like that. Providing more opportunities specifically paid for artists,
Yeah.
providing more work,
Absolutely.
and a creative and welcoming and a supportive environment for creatives, and making sure that we can fairly compensate others, and doing things the right way to our best of our abilities. Because regardless of how much work and time and effort that I put into this, into the business side, and how we put into this as a team, we need to make sure that we are doing our utmost best to provide a healthy and fair work environment for anyone. And that's still something that like you should be actively working towards, because no production is ever going to be perfect. So you need to be actively receiving criticism and applying that, and doing research and talking to other professionals, and really putting in that time, effort, and labor of love into making sure that you are treating people with respect and kindness. So that's what our goal is. It's like we really want to make sure that Kappapon is going to be something that will ideally sustain us as creatives and provide more opportunities as time goes on. So this is not something that we ever plan on dropping anytime soon. This is my dream. This is what I am persistent in creating for myself and my friends. And that's Kappapon, that's Hearts of Titan, and thank you for inviting us onto this podcast.
Oh, the podcast isn't over yet. Hold on.
I didn't know if this was the final question.
No, that's not the final question. Though I do appreciate you going all in when it comes to that kind of stuff. Trust me, like, if nothing else, thank you for helping out at least with Kappapon's links. I'm sure to have them in the description below or whatnot. I was just I was mainly just curious when it comes to Hearts of Titan, what people should expect when it comes to that. I was gonna say, Zombie, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add with what people should expect when it comes to Hearts of Titan and such.
I guess like anything that I want to say, I feel like I'm going to be sniped because I really want to say spoilers so bad, but I can't. Ooh. I need to be sedated. I want to say things so badly.
Well, okay.
But the only thing I can say is just expect more cornchip.
More cornchip. Okay, perfect. That tells me all. Because I was gonna say, if you were to spoil one thing with one word, what would it be? But I think cornchip is probably a good one that doesn't spoil too much.
Yep.
Oh, that's crazy. If you could spoil one thing with one word,
just one word, as in like you like. Eternally, you guys know it's a spoiler, but like no one's gonna know until the short actually comes out that like that was technically a spoiler for something.
Oh, the short. Let me think, because like I feel like the short is pretty like it doesn't go too heavy into like the plot or the lore, but like I think the comic does. But the comic definitely does. What I was saying. What is a fun brief little spoiler that I can give for the comic?
Just one word, or like I know this isn't a spoiler, but like saying clown would have been a spoiler if people had not seen the comics beforehand or whatnot, you know.
Oh my gosh! Oh, I can't think. There's like I want to say more than one word is the problem. I'm like, oh shoot. Oh gosh. Connection.
That's
all I'm gonna stick with that. Lock in.
Okay.
Does roadkill work?
Ooh, connection and roadkill.
Yeah.
Connection and roadkill. Okay, people, if you want to see what in the world they're talking about, you should definitely go to the Patreon, and if you can, donate, at the lowest tier. If not, just be on for free and wait an additional month. But there's some spoilers for you guys. You guys can thank me later, I guess. But like it's really incredible to see what you guys have been able to develop and what's still yet to come, because I've been I've been hyping this project up, and I am so excited to see what's going to be potentially coming next for you guys. Like I can tell there's a lot of excitement with what you guys want to do. So what if we go a little bit above and beyond with this next question and see how far you can exactly go if I give you guys more or less the dream scenario, if I may.
Oh.
Let's say I am Big Shot Mr. Moneybags. I come to you and like, look, Maud, Zombie, Kappapon, we know that you guys have some incredible stuff brewing here. We've been seeing the little taste and the little presents you guys have been able to present. I mean, the corn chips are absolutely delicious, but how about we go for this next one? What if we go a little bit above and beyond, and I give you guys, like you guys, you're basically there. You're almost there. You need a little extra push, a little extra platform to get you to that point. We have access to everyone and anyone in whatever industry possible, and more money than there should be possible. We really should be compensating animators to make sure they have a good place to stay, able to get health insurance, all that kind of stuff. We'll get to them eventually. Stand with animation. We're right there with y'all. We'll get to them. We promise. But right now, we are focusing on you and you alone. Whether it be individually or obviously together, what would you guys have? What would be your dream project?
Zombie, you go first.
I'm not gonna lie, there's no one big dream project because of the fact that I feel like my dream is to have Kappapon be a thing for as long as we exist. And not only that, I kind of want, because having one big thing is like really cool, but then it's like every single one of us has more than one story to tell. And I think the idea of being able to, I think this kind of explains a little bit of my mentality, but when we made the name Kappapon, it was a mixture between a kappa and a gachapon.
Okay.
The original idea was supposed to be that we were supposed to produce like short animations that we would like kind of cycle within ourselves and be like, okay, you're the director now, you're the director now, you're the director now. But then we were like, we kind of locked in for this one concept and we were like, okay, instead of it just being shorts, we take turns in directing a story. And I feel like that's kind of what it is. I think we would just probably take the funding to make more concepts and like finish the concepts that we want to make. And I think that's just, I don't know. I think, in my opinion, that's my idea of the big dream of making and just forever sustaining whatever we got.
Well, how about we just take the fundings and like reinvest it directly to Kappapon, as in like giving you guys like a more stable place where you guys can work alongside each other and work on potentially more than one idea at once if you guys really want to. Like really give you the supplies and give you the people necessary to go out and make those projects at least a lot easier to do, or at least like a lot more of a fun environment for you guys to be provided to get it done and get it out there, so that these projects that you're so passionate about like can be out there.
That's true. Zombie, we've joked for years about making the Kappapon Clout House, and it might finally be real.
It will be real one day.
That would be what we use for the money, is like building an actual physical studio and then sponsoring all of our friends' visas and then come work in person at our clout house. And be roommates. I would live with Zombie, Tilly, and Rennie in a heartbeat.
So do you guys?
Absolutely.
Do you guys have a space for voice actors? Because I'd love to take that opportunity if I can find a way to slide it in and be a part of one of the projects.
Yeah, we think we could factor that into the budget. Yeah, we can get that to our accountant and figure it out.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you're the business person here. I figured you would know more about the finances whenever obviously we're giving you the money for it, but yeah. But sadly, we do gotta get down from the dream scenario. We have to get back to reality, and I'll ask the ever so generic question: where do you guys hope to see yourselves in, say, 5 to 10 years from now?
Okay, I think that in 5 to 10 years, I want to just be, I guess, like with my friends, and we are still making this and making it happen. More so, like we actually can hit the milestones that we want to hit, which is like finishing Hearts of Titans like comic, the finally producing more volumes of it, or like making episodes fully animated depending on like what we have, but like actually sustaining Kappapon and making sure that we can continue working as a team is what I'd want to be 5 to 10 years from now. It's like there's so much tumultuous like uncertainty in the animation industry right now, and I think like there's so many like uncertainty and worry that's been going on, and I want to make sure that if we can just keep on pushing and persevere, that we can make Kappapon sustainable, and not only for ourselves but for the people that we work with, and telling more stories and making sure that like we can keep this like dream alive, basically. But like I guess the more like fun answer would be like, oh, I kind of want to like visit my friends and like actually get to like really spend time and travel and like actually see them in person, and really pursue like that more of like the personal life hobbyist type of stuff that I really need more time for than I do right now. 5 to 10 years, I kind of would have more stability so that I can like balance not only Hearts of Tiny Kappapon, but also like just like I don't know, being a fully fleshed person. So being able to have the time and resources to just hang out, go on fun adventures, and like stuff like that. So ideally, maybe 5 to 10 years, me and Zombie are actually roommates, and that we can hang out
Hell
and
yeah.
I don't know, watch One Piece together.
There you go.
Hell yes.
I'll say, Zombie, how about yourself? Where do you hope to see yourself, say, 5 to 10 years? Because I imagine that's what Maud said is probably part of it.
Yeah, I imagine I'm eating out of a tin can, lost in Florida. I'm joking, but like,
Wait, anywhere but Florida. Come on.
I mean, listen, I've been raised in Australia. That's just basically an American
Oh,
Australia right there.
oh my, yeah, yeah. I hate how right you are.
But absolutely, I feel like I wouldn't want to have any other dream when it comes to like where I will be in the future because that's what I really want and I really want that to be what I strive for. Where not only have I met my friends, but I am currently like living with them and I get to basically look at them in the face and go, yeah, you are here, you are real, you are my friend,
Right.
and we are making some amazing like stuff together. And uh my 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 actual like I actually have dreams about my friends very often and most of them are all very domestic. We're just cooking food together.
Oh.
We're just like we're just kind of like arguing when we're cleaning because I would kind of I don't know, I'm a very horrible cleaner.
Guilty as charged as well. Um,
Yeah.
no, that's very sweet, and I sincerely hope that, especially if you, as you both keep working on this path, like you guys get to that point, because y'all deserve it, especially with how much time and effort you put within the past 5 or 6 years just working on this concept alone, and how hard you've been working on with not even just Hearts of Titans, but all the incredible animation stuff and all the incredible art you've had a hand in one form or fashion. And that more or less leads to kind of the final question that I have for you both. Obviously, you're both deeply entrenched in art at this point. There's nothing that's gonna drag you guys away from this in one form or fashion. I mean, Zombie, you were talking about how you were basically in diapers, drawing stuff, drawing characters that you loved on
Yeah.
TV. And Maud, we talked about the amount of times that people have told you, like, "No, it's not a good idea. That yeah, be unwise to do that." And like, you're
Oh,
determined.
I love Spite. I love Spite.
Spite is a
Such a great motivator.
Spite is a very strong tool in the artist wheelhouse. But it does lead me to ask, how important is art, not just for you, but for the world as a whole?
Hmm. Summer, do you have an answer for this? I'll let you take the floor if you have an answer.
I mean, with the way I dedicated my entire life to art, I feel like even if I had lost all ability to draw, if I became in any way hindered, I don't think that would be a hindrance to me. I think I would find any possible way to keep making art, even if I don't know, suddenly go blind. That wouldn't really be that much of an issue for me because I would still be in that part of my life where I go, yeah, I can still feel the paper, I can still feel the pen, I will still keep drawing. It's to the point that I feel like I would probably die on a desk with a pen in my hand.
You fall asleep at your desk a lot.
Oh goodness! Just don't fall asleep with soup, I guess. So
God. So
goodness,
Oh
yeah,
my
it's
gosh.
it's my entire life, I guess.
absolutely. And Maud, what about you? How important is art, not just for you, but for the world as a whole?
For the world as a whole, I guess like it has been just like so important to me as a vice, cathartism. It's been my main hobby, my career, my joy. Um, I will say though, like if you need to like only treat art as just a hobby and that you need to have sustainability and like stability, I should say, just make sure that like you are pursuing other avenues of like do whatever you gotta do in like at times like this.
Right.
So even though I love art and cherish it, and it's been my main source of like fulfillment, make sure that you are also taking care of yourself, your health, your well-being, your mental health, like just going out, seeing the sun, taking your vitamins, touching grass. Like it's really important. And for like the world as a whole, we need art more than ever right now. We need real humans, real hands to be creatives. We have to make sure that regardless of like what is put up against us, whatever conflicts that we are facing, that we are still remaining human and that we are remaining authentic in ourselves. And regardless of like whatever art you make, if you think it's bad, if you think like it's not that good, remember that no artist starts as a professional. Any finished product, any impressive piece of media that you see started with somebody who was a hobbyist, started with somebody who was drawing in MS Paint for fun, making fan anime. Like we all have our own beginnings, and we as a whole need art for history, for politics, for storytelling, for business, for even for things that you may not even realize that are important. Art is a part of everything, and it's underrepresented and underappreciated most of the time. And I think that it's so entrenched and intertwined with like your person, who you are as a person. Art is so heavily tied to expression and creativity and passion that we need to be creating, not just consuming. So please, like, even if you don't feel like you're good at it or if you're hesitant, just give it a shot. You might enjoy it way more than you think, because art is so important for so many parts of like your brain. Like you really got to be challenging yourself and really trying to try new things and be expressive. And I think everyone could benefit from just being a little artistic. So that's my answer.
There you go. I think that is wonderfully worded from both of you, if I do say so myself. That is all the questions I have for Kappapon Studios for today. I've already showered you. I've already showered you both with so much praise, but I'm gonna shower you guys with more because it's my podcast. I do what I want. Look, like I said, whenever I started off talking to you guys, like whenever I hear indie animation, I hear Hearts of Titan so much as one of the ones that people are excited and anticipated for. It's one of the ones that I'm extremely anticipated for, just from the absolute stunning look, the incredible characters that you have, and the unique concept that I'm sure if given the opportunity to finally go into spoilers or whatnot, we could have a whole entire like 10-piece like podcast series separately, just talking about how incredible Hearts of Titan is. Like, I cannot tell you the excitement that I personally have for this series. Like genuinely, like it looks so impressive. And that was even before I got the chance to talk with you guys. Like getting the chance to talk with you both now and seeing how much love you both are putting into this series. How much love that the entire crew at Kappapon is putting into this series in one form or fashion. Like it has me, whatever excitement already was, it's through the roof. There is no more roof anymore. All right, that is where my excitement is at this point. Like genuinely, like I know just from our conversation that you guys, there's going to be so much put into this series that it's going to be such a great moment when you're finally able to unleash it out there in the world. And I know there's going to be hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of people that are going to love this as much as you guys do and really show that love and appreciation right back, because you guys deserve it with how much you've been able to dedicate to this so far. I mean, you guys have only been working together for, again, like what, 5-6 years at this point, and like it's impressive how far you've been able to grow and how much this concept has been able to grow as well. And it just makes me excited for whatever's going to be happening next with Hearts of Titans, with whatever concepts you guys have putting forward, with whatever client work you guys have. Like, just know that I am one of thousands at this point, and again, hopefully maybe millions, that is going to be rooting for you guys every single step of the way, because I know it's going to be incredible. Thank you guys for what you do. Please keep up the incredible work. And like I said, I got your back. Like I'll be here for you, being one of the biggest cheerleaders for you guys every single day. So keep up the incredible work.
Salute you. Thank you. Thank you, Post.
Absolutely.
God,
I will
you
put
keep doing what you're doing as well, man.
Aww.
No, exactly. Post. We have been watching your interviews for years now. We've known of your podcast for a bit. I think my favorite, or not my favorite, my first was the wild card. That's what introduced me to your podcast series with the wild cards for interview.
Oh,
so
wow.
like, we have been following you because not a lot of people give a lot of a platform to indie specifically. So like you having this like podcast talking to such a wide variety of creatives has been like really inspiring. And like I said, there's really nothing like it that I've seen out there, and it's really unique in the way that you give these artists a space to really express themselves and actually talk about practically anything. It introduced me to a lot of other people as well. So like thank you for getting the giving the time to not just us, but so many other creatives out there and artists. And I hope that you can continue doing so because it's been really fun seeing like the growth of your channel. And I hope all the best for you and your podcast series. And also Zach does such a great job on the intro. I've worked with Zach Fasato. You rule.
Yes, no,
thank you.
Zach is absolutely incredible, and I'm so grateful that they got to do that, and thank you sincerely for the kind words. It means so much now knowing that you've been watching this stuff for years. Like this isn't just like a random unprompted like thing. Like that genuinely warms my heart. But also leads me to ask, why are we waiting until now to do this interview? You could have reached out to me at some point sooner and been like, "Hey, cool dude, what's up?" Regardless, no, it genuinely like that. That genuinely does mean a lot to know that you guys have been showing that love and support for this podcast as well, just as I try to show that love and support back out to the community. Genuinely, like this is a highlight for this podcast more than anything else. Thank you so much. With that, I'll go ahead and ask if you guys have been wondering why I have been gushing and supporting these guys for Lord knows how long at this point. Aside from the links that you already mentioned earlier, if there's any other links you guys want to add, go ahead and plug yourselves for the people at home. Where can people find more about Kappapon or about Maud and Zombie?
Yeah, oh my gosh, we are Kappapon on basically everything, but if you want to check our website out, we have links to all of our socials there. So kappapon.com if you want to check out our work, more about the team, all of our social media, you can see us there as well as our contact information. So all of our socials for our personal accounts, you'll be able to see it that too. If you want to find me, I'm on Blue Sky and Instagram Maudolith. And I'm sorry that I'm not very active. That's my socials. I do compositing.
Yeah.
I do business, I think. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for giving us the time today.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'll say, Zombie, is there any other socials you want to add?
I'm Zomibom on all fronts. I really got to trademark that. Trademark. Ooh, that's not English. I apologize.
Trademark.
Yep, trademark. I got to trademark that one day. But I am Zomibom on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky. I'm not using Twitter as much anymore.
Right.
I'm actually very inactive lately because of the fact that I've been focusing a lot of work. And so I haven't had a lot of situations where I was like, maybe I'll post something. But every single time I thought of posting something, I just forget that I do. But overall, it's just Zomibom.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Also, our other two co-founders of Kappapon are not here, but if you want to check them out, it's Meryl Maniac and Rennie Roomba. So please support them as well.
There you go. And I'll be sure to have those links and then some in the description below in case y'all missed any. Like I got y'all covered. If nothing else, I know probably the YouTube is probably gonna be the first link because I imagine that's the one that you guys want to go whenever you guys Hearts of Titan is ready to go, and that'll be premiering there. But the second one's definitely gonna be the website so people can check out your stuff and see and see more about Hearts of Titans, see more about the team, see more about what you guys have been able to do. Like it trust me, it's a really good, it is a really well done website. I have to say, really well done.
We still have the Weebly logo when you look us up on the hyperlink, but that's okay. We gotta fix that.
It's fine. It's okay. Do you both have any final words before we sign off?
Happy Indie Animation Day, everyone. Please keep telling your stories. Please keep making things and having fun. Thank you for giving us a platform and giving us a space today to really like be a part of the community. And being a part of like the Indie Animation Day, we are happy to talk and be funny and I don't know, go peace and love within Earth. I don't know what else to say. Thank you. Yay!
I'll say, Zombie, anything you want to add?
I guess never stop drawing because if at any point you feel like there's no one that would support you, just know that there is always going to be that someone that supports you, even if it is that little kid version of yourself who would be elated to see the position you are right now. And also I just want to thank you, and I want to thank everyone in Indie for, I don't know, having such an amazing community to share their stories and share the love for animation and just film in general.
There you go. And with that, all I have left to say is for the people at home, if you can, please pay your artists.
Yes!
Yes!
Hey, artists!
Tell me what's wrong, tell me it's parts in motion. Sing me a song, tell me your eyes can all open. Show me it all, put me up in the car you drove when you used to call. Show me it all.
Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. If this is your first time listening, I greatly do appreciate it, genuinely. Like I said in the intro, this was a conversation that I was excited about because this is a project that I'm excited about. And Maud, Zombie, if you've gotten up to this point, like, thank you for taking the time to do this, because I had a genuine blast chatting with y'all. It was so fun. It's concepts and it's stuff like that that gets me excited when it comes to today for Indie Animation Day. Like, genuinely, I love being introduced to stuff that I never even thought about or conceived about. I love seeing updates to stuff that I've checked up with in the past and am excited to see more of. I just love seeing people's creativity on full display, long and short of it. And that's what today is all about. Especially in a time like today, in days like today, where things are so fucking rough and it's really easy to be weighed down. Trust me, I had a whole entire rant on Blue Sky about how things have been going my way as of late, and it could be better. I'll put it lightly. But it's today. It is the creativity of today that makes it all worth it. It is the creativity and the excitement that comes with it more than anything else. I get excited seeing new stuff. I get so excited. Like, I feel like I'm just talking in circles at this point, but you guys get what I'm getting at, right? You guys, especially those that are indie animation creators and are able to have that time, patience, dedication to getting this stuff out there. Like, you guys are awesome. And don't let anything or anyone hose out that creativity, because it lifts a lot of people up. It lifts me up more than anything else. And hopefully it lifts you up as well, knowing that you're able to get this out there, to bring this to the masses, bring it to a new audience that may have never thought about this stuff in the first place. I sincerely hope that you keep showcasing this. I hope you keep working on this stuff. I hope that your guys' love and passion for whatever idea or concept or full-on series, I hope you're able to release it as full and it be the greatest thing that you can be proud of.